Holmes, Michael Darcy, heading up until 2 o'clock. The next 4 hours, we've got you talking a lot of football today. Expected to. Kansas City Chiefs will be talking today. Probably a little bit later on in the 11 o'clock hour. Expected to be a full practice, almost 2.5 hours. But we will hear when the practice is over from Andy Reid, Garrett Nussmeier, Felix Enudike Uzama, and R. Mason Thomas. FAU and RMT. Only thing missing is O&L. Not
what I said that one time.
Amar Norman Lott.
Yeah, what I said that one time. That was bad.
Yeah, it was bad for sure. Let's give some updates at practice right now, shall we?
Let's do it.
So, Tranquil, not out. Trey Smith hasn't been seen. Benson is starting at right guard for Trey Smith. Boss is not wearing pads. And Cyrus Allen is back in the injury tent after coming out in full pads today to practice. So there you go. That's what's going on right now. Don't know about Trey Smith, what's going on. We know that Drew Tranquil was having the back spasms, so this may just be a, hey, it's fully padded. Go ahead and take the day off. Veteran Day? Not sure. But he's not out there, and Boss is not in pads. So.
Not great, Bob.
Yeah, I know. But it could be a lot worse. It could be the breaking news thing. You know, you just avoid that.
Yeah.
Always avoid that.
Cole Benson at right guard's interesting. Because if you think he's a right tackle, why is he at right guard?
Well, I got some thoughts on that.
Okay.
I do have some thoughts on that. 913-912-4810, because I was sitting there, and I'm trying to think of the reasons myself, and I'm saying, okay, so why would that be the guy they moved to right guard without Trey Smith, as opposed to somebody else on the roster, an actual, guard, Norzad, Caliendo, players that might be out there playing. So we'll get into that here in just a little bit. 913-912-4810 is the text line. So because we're going to talk a lot of Chiefs today, I want to start off with the Royals because I got some thoughts on the starter for today. But I was thinking about this last night and then on into this morning. I can't explain why I was annoyed by last night's game because there's no reason to be annoyed. They're 20 games under 500. This is not a team that is going to just all of a sudden turn it on and make up 10 games in the standings in the wild card. Like, that is such a foolish. I don't even know if anybody has you can dream that. Like, no, it's not happening. They're not. The Tigers of 24 that's not the blueprint. It's so far of the anomaly and the outlier. You can't even start to imagine it with other teams. But for some reason last night it was still annoying. And I was thinking about it this morning as to why it's annoying. Because so much of what I'm looking for and watching right now is based on what 2027 can be. And what I'm hoping to see is, yes, they're playing better baseball. They get their starters back, the regular position players. They're revamping the bullpen.
Better.
You don't have to worry about Matt Strahm, right? You don't have to well, that guy's not going to be here next year, so what's he doing out there?
Aaron Bummer.
That was a bummer. Pearson comes in and can't close the door. We don't see Cruz because didn't get an opportunity to do that. We don't see Daniel Lynch in that situation, and we find out why we didn't see Daniel Lynch in the 8th inning. I tweeted out because, I don't understand it. I would have gone to Matt Strahm in that situation. I don't get it. How do you not go Matt Strahm in the 8th?
You have to.
Come on.
I would have gone Bailey Falter.
I would have gone Falter or Strahm.
Yeah.
One of the two. I would definitely not have chosen what Q chose. Whoever he put out there.
I'm totally picking a traded or a DFA'd player.
Yes,
totally.
I would not have taken those guys. You know why? Because they didn't come through. So I'm pissed about it. But it's because I want to continue to see Steven Cruz get opportunities. That's part of it. I want Bummer and Pearson to show that they have value so that it feels like there are real options for next year. And I'm not saying, Sterling, if they look good the rest of the way, boom, they're in your bullpen next year. You feel good about that. But, hey, you enter spring training next year with a couple of options. If they suck the rest of the way, and it's like, well, they threw a dart at Pearson, which I was intrigued by, didn't work out. Bummer. Well, we can all have fun with the name of what that would be if it doesn't work out. So I want those things to take place. But then it's also, there's value on a team for a guy that can come in and be a pinch runner and get you a bag when you have to have the bag. There's a difference between stealing a base and being a base stealer. David Ortiz had stolen bases in his career. Dave Roberts was brought in to steal a base when everybody in the world knew he was trying to take second. Everybody in the world knew he's going to attempt to steal second. And he stole it because he's a base stealer. So, can you steal bases or are you a base stealer? Tyler Tolbert, when he takes off for second and the pitcher does not throw to first, he's pretty good at stealing bases. He's got that part of it. He's got that skill to do that. But he can't be on the team as a base stealer if he can't even start to take off to second base because he's getting picked off. It's happened way too often. Twice in a season is too often for a base stealer. That didn't even feel like it was a good move. Maybe it was a balk move and I didn't see the front foot or the front leg and it starts to bend a little bit and then, you do the quick jump. Maybe it was that. But for that generic move, let's be honest, for Tolbert to be leaning so far that the right knee bends and breaks to then him try to get back and be tagged out, I don't know. Like, I can't go into the offseason, and I like Tyler Tolbert. It's a great story with the 12 for 12. And I love him on the mound.
Great pitcher.
Great pitcher. Maybe he's an option for the bullpen next year. That's what it is. He's a bullpen pinch runner next year. But while the Royals need to find bullpen pieces, I think they also need to be in the market for who is your late inning. If you're going to be competing, Sterling, it's about building an overall team. If you're going to be competing, people have to play certain roles. And you have to find somebody on your team that plays the role of Terrence Gore, Gerard Dyson. Name the players over the years that we have seen come in and steal a base. And I thought that would be Tyler Tolbert. He's done it really well in the minor leagues. And he's shown that if he has to, he can handle the bat. He's getting more opportunity this year to show he can play different positions. But that won't be his role on a team that's trying to win a division or go to the playoffs. He won't be an everyday player on that team. His role is going to be that in the ninth inning that he was brought in to do, and he gets picked off again. And so while my frustration last night, I'm thinking, like, who cares that they lost the game? They're 20 games under 500. But because my viewing is not about really wins and losses right now, it's about what impacts 2027, to see the blown lead by a couple of guys you were hoping could be in the mix, and then Tolbert getting picked off and thinking, well, now you got to find that position too. Now you got to find somebody to come in and can be what are they? The different positions.
Utility man?
Thank you, utility man. The only thing I wanted to say was David Howard. Be the utility man out there and come in and steal a base.
It's Willie Bloomquist.
Thank you. And now they got to find it. So I think that's why I was annoyed last night. I don't think it was because of the wins and losses, but it sort of adds to the, well, what are you doing in 2027 and the work they have to do this offseason. It was a rough top of the eighth, bottom of the ninth for pieces of a 27-man roster for next year.
What's hard with Tyler Tolbert is his bat's been better than we expected, but the base stealing has been worse. And so what is that? Where does that leave you? Yeah. What's he going to be on a team that's trying to win a division? The bat or the base stealing? Because I mean, he's OPS in 843 and 80 at bats, but it's kind of being bolstered by the 12 for 12, right? So does a lot for the limited at bats. Does a lot for the limited at bats when you have 26 in the season and 12 came in a row. Yeah, it does a lot. But he's got 26 hits this year. Yeah, and 12 of them came in consecutive at bats. It's pretty good. Still, the bat has been better overall than I think we expected. We can joke about it, but still, he better bat tool than I thought. Yeah, but that can't happen. If you get called out because you are an inch above the bag at second base, I'm mad, but I'm more mad at the rule. Mm-hmm. When you get picked off first base, you just can't have that happen. I don't really remember Gerard Dyson or Terrence Gore having that happen often.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong, and it's just because we look back fondly on those guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember those guys getting picked off first very often.
Yeah, that's the thing is looking back, they stole so many bases, and it may have happened, but because it happened so rarely, it doesn't pop into my mind. Whereas when I think of Tyler Tolbert in this offseason and going into next year, 12 for 12 and getting picked off. And not like 12 for 12, and then in the final game of the season, you're down by a run, you need it to make the playoffs, and he got picked off. That's a little bit different. Like D. Ford, we think of offsides. Not because D. Ford spent his entire career in Kansas City lining up offsides, like Jawan Taylor was the illegal formation or the false starts. We remember so many of them. D. Ford, all it took was one in that situation. You got to have a whole lot when they happen in situations that don't really mean much for a season that is a disaster. And that's where Tyler Tolbert comes in. There's so many of them that's what I will remember of him this offseason is getting picked off and the amazing 12 for 12 in his at-bats. And which one is going to be of value for next year?
Or which one's sustainable?
Yeah, that's right. That's a better way of putting it. Which one is sustainable that his skill set more translates on an everyday basis for him being on a team? Not every day in the field, but every day on the team. Not a 4A, you're called up, you're sent down, you're called up, you're sent down. No, he's got a spot on the team all year because he is the base stealer. He's the guy that comes in, and he can play an outfield or an infield if you need to put him out there and keep him in the game when he comes into pinch run. But he can't do that. And if he does that, I got to find somebody else. And that's the frustrating part is I think that's another piece that now you got to add to when you were hoping maybe that might have been figured out for next year.
I will still give him the benefit overall for next year. I think you can work on that. I hope you can work on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you need to work on. It's pretty obvious. He can play most positions, pretty much all of them besides catcher. Yeah. We've not seen it. We've seen him pitch. Again,
I kind of wish JJ would have said we're good at pitcher with Tolbert. It would have been fun.
Who was the last guy to do that? Like Brandon Inge, probably. I bet Brandon Inge was the last guy to play all in a season.
Every single position, pitcher, catcher.
If I had to guess, because he played catcher and third a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Tyler Tolbert. I'm as mad as I am. I do think it's something you can work on, and if that's what your focus is in the offseason, money, because he does have some versatility as your final guy on the roster as far as what he can play. The fact the bat's not a complete zero, it's a big thing because that's his main tool is his speed and stealing bases, but he provides more than I thought. And so I think for me at least, but I also don't want to get caught into the, Nick Lofton's fine and John Ray's fine and these guys, Isaac Collins is fine and Michael Massey's fine. Like, because then if everyone's fine, you're not going to be a good team. But
right.
I do think
how many players as you can go, they're fine there.
Yeah.
How many? He's fine. He's fine. You can't have 26. They're fine. Players on your roster, right?
Yeah, I mean, Seth Lugo, he's fine.
Yeah, and they don't because they got Bobby and Carter and those
but that's
guys.
kind of the point is right now they have so many of those guys who they're fine.
Yeah.
If Tyler Tolbert can stop getting picked off first base, I think he does add a lot of value to this team.
Yeah, and you would hope that would be the case. My worry would be, I think he's clearly working on it during the summer, during the season, like he's got to be. Now, Bobby a couple of years ago, what did he do in the offseason? He spent the offseason working on his jumps to be a better base stealer. That was when Garcia had what was like 31 of 34 on the season or something like that, and Bobby was, his percentage was like 70%. It was bad for stealing bases, and he spent that offseason working on getting the jump, reading pitchers, how quick his break is, and maybe when you've got the full offseason, something like that with Tolbert, you can focus more in on that. The difference is, though, Sterling, is Bobby was established as an MVP-type player and was going to be the shortstop for as long as he wanted to be the shortstop and was healthy. Tolbert's trying to make a team. He's trying to make a roster. And so does he spend his entire offseason working on not getting picked off or his jumps or improving defense, working on the bat, doing some of the other things so he can try to become an everyday player when Bobby was doing those things, but he was already established as an everyday player. He could take something in the offseason and say, I'm honing in and focus on this area because I'm already the best defender at shortstop, and I'm, I've got a batting title already under my belt.
By the way, Garcia was 37 of 39 that year.
That's what it was, 37 of 39.
Which was funny. Follow that up the next year with 23 of 32. Then this year he was 5 of 8. I don't know. That looks like the outlier season for Garcia of stolen bases. Yeah, I mean,
it's amazing. Every time he ran, he was there.
It's a good point.
And he slid feet first. One of the
you're right.
Players that slides feet first. He and Gore would slide, feet first.
Yeah, good call. I do wonder too how much of it is just instincts. Like how much can you teach not getting picked off first base versus just you read it.
Yeah,
because I feel like the great base stealers are just it's instincts. It's natural. You feel it. So I think you can improve because Bobby did improve, right? So that's clearly there's something you can do.
Yeah.
But how much of that is instincts versus nature versus nurture?
There you go. I like that. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. And on the other side, I want to talk about Daniel Lynch and the Royals' decision that he's starting today and the move now. The plan is to have Daniel Lynch be a starter to see if he can be that for next year. So I think the rest of the season we'll see Daniel Lynch as a starter. I want to talk about that and also look at Isaac Collins and Michael Massey. So much of the narrative of a season is based on the first few games, or maybe, in the NFL certainly that is the case, but the first probably few weeks / month for a baseball team. And Collins was not good. Massey wasn't even up, and the offense was so bad that it sort of cemented what the conversation was going to be around Isaac Collins. So I want to talk about him and Michael Massey, and then we'll get into with the Chiefs and NFL training camp. It's been a full week, and we have seen this today would be 4 days of full pads. And I want to get into players that we are either higher on or lower on based on very early points of data in training camp and practicing, going in pre-camp thoughts on some players and where they stand now if we are higher or lower on any particular players. I've got 4 that come to mind for me that fit the different categories. So we'll talk about that in the show as well. Matt Derrick coming up after the Chiefs press conferences. Mick Schaefer cuts, all still to come here on a Friday. More Zone next. All right, men, if you're out there and suffering from erectile dysfunction, Heartland Men's Health is here to help you. It is something that's caused by many different underlying conditions, and then in turn, that condition can cause depression and arguments and breakups and even contribute to divorce. Heartland Men's Health can come up with a plan that is specific and unique to your needs. Maybe you've tried the pills or the herbals and they have failed or they never worked, because typically those are going to be, this is what generally is affecting men. That doesn't necessarily mean it is something that you are in need of. And they have treatments that work when that happens. In fact, they have treatments with success rates well over 90%. They have been successfully treating men in the Kansas City area. So schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit, it's only $99, and that includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if the test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit, it's free. They have an expert staff with 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence, between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and North Kansas City. Call them today at 844-447-6600. Tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com. I will continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy. Chiefs training camp going on. Longer practice today in pads, full practice, almost 2.5 hours. Maybe because, like, you know, the Batman, some people just like to see the world burn. That's not necessarily the case. But because of the reaction on Twitter last Saturday, in my mind, when I got the text from Todd, who's up at training camp, and he was texting, hey, they're in pads, haven't seen this person. Hey, Cyrus is in pads. Shocker, Delane is not. He's wearing the quarterback jersey. But when he texted about Cyrus Allen, and it's only because of last Saturday, the first thing I thought of, God, how hilarious would it be if special teams was the first part of practice and he was the first gunner out there? It was so freaking funny. I'm sorry. Not obviously, I don't want him to get hurt, but it was a freak thing. He was going to catch the punt to down it, and Kyrie Irving was as well, and they, run into each other. It happens in football, and he's fine and he's out there running around. But again, it goes to some people just want to watch. Like, I just wanted to see the reaction of special teams, first period, first gunner out there, number 13, Cyrus Allen. Ah! Burn it all down!
Rude.
That did not happen, though.
Rude.
That did not happen. But yes, there was a part of me that just wanted to see the meltdown that would have taken place, because it would have been a meltdown, right?
Yeah, well, you can't let him go first. Let him go like third.
Oh, man.
I wonder if there would have been the same reaction if, like, Josh Williams got hurt playing corner, and they're like, what do we need about special teams? What are we doing?
No, I mean, yeah, somebody's got to hold on special teams.
Somebody's got to play.
Like somebody's got to get the penalty. If Josh Williams isn't out there on special teams, who's going to get called for holding?
And Jack Cochran says, I will do that for you.
Gotcha. I'll step up and do that like I did against the Jags and the other parts as well. I don't remember who it was that tweeted out the other day, and they were talking about all the penalties that took place in the Jags game that cost the Chiefs 103 yards in special teams in the last 17 minutes of the game, fourth quarter, and then the last 2 minutes of the third quarter. And it was like 4 consecutive kickoffs or punts that were this penalty, that penalty, that penalty. And then I just retweeted. I said, look, Dave Tobe, he knows how important the kick returner is this year. Somebody's got to get tackled 18 yards downfield from where the drive ultimately starts. Like, somebody's got to be a kicker returner is huge. Somebody's got to get tackled at the 35 so this drive can start at the 17. It's going to be a hold. It's going to be a block in the back. It's going to be a low block. It's going to be a double team block. Illegal double team block. We saw that in the Jags game, too, with, I think it was Nico.
Yeah.
Just like, it's going to be something that happens. And so, yes, Josh Williams isn't around to hold this year, so somebody has to take that role. Somebody's got to step up and hold for Josh Williams. And I don't mean hold for Harrison Butker. Hold for Josh Williams. I want to talk about Daniel Lynch, the plan. He is starting today against Kevin Gossman. Both pitchers making their starting debut for their current teams this year. Daniel Lynch starting for the first time this year. The last time Daniel Lynch started a game was as a starter.
Yeah, not as an opener.
Because he's had
5.
He's had 2 opener starts since his last start was June 7th, 2024, as a starter. And then he's had 2 openers since then. June 7th, 2024 was his last start. He's, at that point, full-time bullpen. And the 2 starts he's had, because he had 3 starts in 2024, that was into June 7th. After that start, full-time bullpen. He's had 2 starts since then, both of them opener for Jonathan Bolin. So full-time bullpen. He had 56 games that he pitched in as a starter, or a couple of times out of the bullpen while 2024 they were deciding bullpen, starter, whatever. 56 games, 275 innings pitched, 5.3 ERA, 1.5 whip. Since he was moved full-time to the bullpen, including the 2 games that he opened, so it counts as a game start, but we know it's not a regular start, he's pitched in 114 games, 134 innings pitched. 2.2 ERA, 1.12 WHIP. 3 runs fewer, and almost a half base runner less per inning in WHIP out of the bullpen. We've seen what Daniel Lynch is in the bullpen. We've also seen when they've tried to figure out is he a starter or not, and back down to AAA, now back up to start a little bit, then back down to AAA, then back up to start, then out of the bullpen. Oh, but let's start him this game. Back to the bullpen a little bit. Okay, let's start him again this game, to then them saying, you're just simply a bullpen pitcher. And he's got a 2.2 ERA in 114 games since they moved him to the bullpen. They're now going to see if he can be a starter for next year the rest of the way. And I hope it works out. Let's start with this. Sterling, I hope it works out. I am not rooting for it not to work out because Daniel Lynch as a starter would be more valuable if he's got a 2.2 ERA. Even add a run to that. Can you split the middle there? Split the difference? 3.7 ERA? That'd be fantastic, as opposed to the 5.3 or the 2.2. I hope it works out. But we've gone down the road of Daniel Lynch as a starter. Now, maybe they think, hey, in the 2 years, he's maybe figured out how to use certain pitches better. So can he do that over the course of 5 or 6 innings, 80 to 100 pitches? We need to find out instead of going into the offseason and finding out or testing it there and entering spring training thinking he's going to compete for a starting spot. They've got so many holes on this team, Sterling. I don't know how we haven't talked about this before the show, so I don't know how you feel about this, but they've got so many holes on this team. I don't want to see them create a hole to try to fix another hole with somebody that's already shown in his career that's not what he's good at.
That's the hard part, because I agree with he's your best bullpen arm right now, and you're going to move him out of a bullpen that desperately needs help. But I also understand that you might need some starter help as well. The issue is I don't see him being a 1 or a 2, which is what you need. You don't need another 4 or 5, fourth or fifth starter, really.
Yeah, you got 3, 4, 5.
And maybe he decides that, or maybe we find out he's Chris Bubic now, and maybe he's a 2 when Chris Bubic had the All-Star season, right? I know Daniel Lynch wants to start. I know he wants to. I remember early in the year he had talked about on a pregame about how, I think it was maybe a rain delay or something. I forget what it was, but he was talking about how he wanted to start. I get it, but
I want to dunk.
Yeah,
it's just not in the cards for me.
The reason why I don't necessarily hate it, the bullpen ERA has been great, but he's not a big strikeout guy, not a big walk guy either, which is also huge.
His strikeouts per 9 as a starter and a reliever are almost identical.
Yeah.
7.4, 7.49.
And so I wonder if he and the Royals think that, hey, they've tapped into something over the past couple of years, not just from the bullpen, but just in general with Daniel Lynch. And if he's not going to be a big strikeout guy, is it more valuable because that means he can go deeper into games because he's not walking a lot of guys, he's getting a lot of early contact, a lot of weak contact. Can he be that dude for 6, 7 innings in a game?
Yeah.
I don't hate trying it the rest of the year, and if it doesn't work, you move him back to the bullpen. But at this point, you need starter help. Yeah. He wants to start. You might as well try it at this point because, oh no, Aaron Bummer blew a game. Okay.
Yeah. Again, I'm hoping that it works out. And I'm hoping that you can go with the theory of if it fails, you can put him back in the bullpen. Chris Bubic is actually what worries me more with Daniel Lynch. And thinking of Chris Bubic is why I would leave Daniel Lynch alone. And we had the conversation after 2024 when Bubic looked like he did, and they went into the offseason saying, no, Chris Bubic, we're going to make him a starter. And I remember the conversation being, okay, well, yeah, let's see what he can do as a starter, because he can do this for 5 or 6 innings, way more valuable than coming in the 6th or the 7th. And if it doesn't work out, you know you've got a pretty good bullpen arm. The reason it worries me about Chris Bubic is it didn't work out as a starter, but not because he wasn't effective. It didn't work out as a starter because his body's not made to be a starter. His arm's not made to be a starter. I think we've learned that. Bullpen guy, then he goes to be a starter, and he pitches half a season, out for the rest of the year. Starter again, 10 starts? Out since then. So that would be, that's where the Bubic part would concern me more with Daniel Lynch than, hey, look what you got out of Bubic, because I wonder what the Royals would be right now if they never moved Bubic to a starter and left him as a premier bullpen piece. Yeah, you would have missed the first part of last year and him being an all-star. But maybe you're not blowing 20 games with leads after the 8th inning this year with Bubic, and maybe he became your 7th or 8th inning guy. Maybe then you didn't have to trade Bolin for Strom if you had Bubic there, and now you've got Bolin and Bubic and Lynch in the bullpen. It might look a lot different this year if that was the case, but you don't have Bubic at all. And if you told me, look, Daniel Lynch's arm is going to hold up. He's going to hold up as a starter, and if it doesn't work, he'll move back to the bullpen. Bubic was different. Bubic's arm, just bullpen or not, maybe the Royals and their doctors and pitching staff or whatever were looking at it and going, look, bullpen he can break down, starter he can break down. So if we're going to have to worry about him breaking down, let's at least see if he can be a starter, and maybe we can get something out of him. I don't know. Or maybe Daniel Lynch is different because Daniel Lynch hasn't had the injuries that Kris Bubic has had, because Kris Bubic was coming back from Tommy John when he moved to the bullpen. But if you're trying, and this is, I guess, where most of the work comes in. They have been most of the season without Ragans and Bubic. They have been most of the season with a bad Noah Cameron. Wacha and Lugo have done their thing. Lugo not to the degree it was a couple of years ago or the first half of last year, but they've done their thing. Every 5 days they're going out and pitching, except for when Seth Lugo wore it on his head for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Lugo, we know that you are a really smart pitcher. That's not the time to use your head. All right? Just get out of the way. I know, we joke. But Lugo, and even only missing one game there shows, his durability. I can make an argument that if we're talking about a consistent 162, as opposed to what happens in the playoffs, Daniel Lynch is a bullpen piece, or the bullpen getting fixed may be more vital than finding the one or two or finding two starters. Because if you found two more number threes and you said Wacha, Lugo, Cameron, number three are your starting five, game in and game out, but you've got an awesome bullpen, well, that dog will hunt. And maybe it's easier to build a bullpen. But just like throwing a net out there to try to find bullpen pieces and putting them out there doesn't mean it's going to work. You're taking what is a known commodity out of a part that I think needs a lot of help in the bullpen, a lot of pieces. And you're moving it to another area that needs help in which he's already shown that he can't do it. I hope it works. I just worry about Kris Bubic isn't helping as a starter or a bullpen piece right now because of the injury. And if Daniel Lynch tries to get stretched out and hurts his arm, and now we're talking about another Tommy John, like we have these other starters, I mean, we're not talking about bullpen Tommy Johns. We're talking about starters and Tommy Johns. I hope he remains healthy. I wouldn't mess with something that you feel good about if you're trying to compete in 2027.
Yeah, and again, I guess the thought process is, too, if you go back to 14-15, it wasn't like this Royals team was flush with starters that were top-of-the-line guys.
True.
I mean, Yordano was maybe the best, and he had a 4.2 ERA that 2015 season, right? I mean, him, Edinson Volquez, those guys. It was Chris Young, I think.
Yeah, I mean, even when they traded for Cueto, he wasn't great.
Cueto eventually became that number one, the legit
I mean, he had
one.
a couple starts that were good.
In the playoffs.
I would say if the Royals lost to the Astros in Game 4, I think we'd have a different view of Cueto.
Oh, 100%. It'd be.
But then he came back in Game 5, and then he pitched. He was worth the trade at that point.
And so you see how valuable a good bullpen is, though. I think that's more or less you can't.
That's sort of what I'm going with.
Yeah, you can't have horrendous starters, but if you have a great bullpen, you can make up for some of the lack of top end starting talent. I guess I differ a little bit because I don't see a massive risk letting him try to start the rest of the season, just because I know he wants to as well, and so maybe he keeps him happy. Maybe you can re-sign him later on. Maybe it doesn't work, and he finally realizes, you know what? No, I am a bullpen guy, and I'm gonna Hochaver this thing. I'm gonna have a nice long career as a bullpen arm.
Hochaver, winning pitcher in a World Series winning game,
right? And so I get your concern with the injury. I do. To me, it's baseball.
Yeah,
he could pop it. Yes, I know a starter's probably more likely, but it's kind of like the CAGs thing and right. It's like all sports. You can get injured doing anything, but where's your biggest value? And if he turns into Chris Bubich as a starter but stays healthy, well then that's probably a number 2 starter. I mean, Chris Bubich, you look at the ERA and everything, he was probably a number 2.
Yeah, he was good. I am really confident about this, Sterling. Daniel Lynch would not have an arm injury if he played every day at first. That I am confident. I do think he has got a better chance of hurting his arm being a pitcher than playing at first base. I do think first base has less wear and tear on his arm.
Have we told Vinny that? Because Vinny always looks like he has.
Vinny's
when Vinny throws, I'm
Chad
always like
Bradford and everything over at first base to second base when it's the try to turn 2.
I'm like, what is he doing?
He's got that underneath submarine throw. We'll see. I hope it works out. We'll see what happens today. How many pitches they let him go, I don't know. What that pitch count will be.
Vinny's arm strength is in the first percentile, that's
99. So like there's only 1% that's as good as his arm.
He's the lowest.
Oh, it's the exact opposite.
He has the weakest arm according to Baseball Savant.
Well, that's why you put him at first.
Has no one told Vinny how to throw a baseball?
I don't know.
I
mean, he's changed from the just throwing it to then he's
like just kind of like lobs it underhand.
The submarine. Daniel Lynch has 10 outings this year, 10 appearances this year. Out of his 46 that he's thrown 20 or more pitches. So I don't know what the pitch count will be today.
40.
Yeah. Maybe 30, just for the first start out. Here you go, you're putting you, and then in 5 days, we'll continue to try to build you up towards the rest of the season. But that would also be a worry is you've been in the bullpen. Now let's put him as a starter. You stretch him out. And then, September 21st, Lynch is going forearm tightness for Daniel Lynch and going on the IL. That's my fear. That's my fear in this. And just leave him alone. Yes. Leave him alone. Let him be. You got somebody there? Let him be. Be right there. We'll take a timeout, come back. I want to talk about a couple of players that didn't necessarily come through last night with 1 out and then 2 outs in the 9th inning, but they aren't playing to the narrative from early in the season or what the career has been for typically for this particular player. We'll talk about those 2 guys. If they are options, I think they're options, but maybe answers, maybe more optimism on them potentially being closer to an answer. We'll talk about that. And then at 11 o'clock, we will get into a couple of players that we might be higher or lower on with the Kansas City Chiefs pre-camp versus what we're seeing right now. More Zone coming up next.
We're talking baseball. We're talking FanDuel. FanDuel's giving new customers up to $1,000 in bet resets. Here's how it works. You bet $5 daily and unlock $200 in bet resets every day. That's right. New customers can place a $5 bet each day and receive up to $200 in bet resets, up to $1,000 total. And with baseball on every day, there's always another game, another matchup, and another chance to get in on the action. Royals may have fallen last night as they lost 4-3, but they have another game today. So why not roll with the Royals against the Cubs, or fade the Royals and go with the Cubs? The choice is up to you, and you can do so much more. Money lines, player props, or same-game parlays, FanDuel has you covered. So place your daily $5 bet and unlock up to $1,000 in bet resets. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started.
FanDuel, your home for home runs.
21 plus in President, Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Minimum $5 wager required for 5 consecutive days. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bet reset tokens. Refund from token issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $200 per day. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See full terms sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you. Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy heading up until 2 o'clock. We'll hear from the Kansas City Chiefs in just a little bit. Whenever they get to the podium, maybe 11:30, I think, because this might be a longer practice. They're doing the long drive drill. I think this is the first long drive drill of the preseason of training camp. 14 plays on the long drive for the first team. So the dreaded long drive drill that people talk about when, like, what makes Andy Reid's practice so hard? Oh, those long drive drills, 14, 15 plays, you're out there in a row, and it's just constant. Well, there's first one, 14 plays, long drive for the first teamers. Cyrus Allen has not returned to practice since he started out in practice, then he left, hasn't returned yet, but also not back up the hill. He's at practice. He's just not returned to actually playing and participating in practice. So, last little piece on the Royals. We talked about J.J. Picollo naming off 8 defensive players, everyday players, and players in the field for what 2027 looks like, why there's optimism. And he mentioned second base, Massey and Lofton. He mentioned left field, Collins. And, look, understandably some pushback with that simply because of what we've seen from Massey historically and Isaac Collins throughout most of this season. And, okay, so are you just simply saying you're good at left field, you're good at second base because you named those three guys. Isaac Collins struggled the beginning part of this year and struggled defensively too. And it looked like it wasn't a bad deal because Zerpa had Tommy John. And it would have just been along the same lines of let's throw Zerpa into the mix this year of pitchers that have had Tommy John. But Isaac Collins, in his last 46 games, he's batting .270, getting on base at .339. He's slugging .443. Last 46 games, he's OPSing .782 for Isaac Collins. He would be pacing for 11 home runs and 39 doubles. He's not a home run hitter. Gap to gap, 39 doubles, roughly 60 RBIs over the course of a season. But really, you're looking at the on-base, the OPS for him.
Yeah.
For left field. OPS 782. Not the 600 that we were seeing throughout most of the season. In 46 games, you're talking about past a quarter of the year. If Collins' first 46 games were what they've been the most recent 46 games, we might have a different feeling about what Isaac Collins is heading into next year.
It was kind of like the thoughts on Kyle Isbell.
Yeah.
When he started off hot, and so everyone's like, he's doing great. And you're like,
right.
No, he's not.
Yes. But the narrative was set with Isbell and Collins.
Correct. Because that's when everyone was watching.
Yes. Because you thought they were going to, have a chance to win a division. Michael Massey, in his most recent 53 games.
Kyle Isbell's OPS in 639 now.
Is that good or bad? I don't know.
It's bad, Jason.
I don't know the numbers. These are numbers. It's all just running together. It's a beautiful mind on the chalkboard or whatever. It's just numbers there. Michael Massey, 53 games. 287, 330, 448, 778 OPS. Pacing for what would be 18 home runs and 80 RBIs through almost a third of a season, 53 games. I mean, if that's your second baseman and you're using him the way that you are, and Collins is doing that in left field, you need Kaggs to continue to improve and hit for more power and hit the ball over the fence. Carter continue to improve. Michael to be healthy. Bobby to be Bobby again. And you need to find a center fielder.
And if Vinny can ever be healthy in return.
Yeah.
I mean,
so maybe you need to find a right fielder and a center fielder if Kaggs is doing that and he has to play first base because Vinny is struggling.
Or find a first baseman and leave Kaggs in right.
Yeah.
Because you don't get injured.
Right. I was going to say something else, but I don't. Nothing left. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy heading up until 2 o'clock. We'll hear from the Chiefs, I think, a bit later on this hour. Still out there on the practice field. Been a number of practices where we're already done with Chiefs press conferences when they've had some quicker ones. But we said when we started the show that this was going to be a longer practice for the Chiefs today. Back in pads because they had an easier, what did Justin Fields say, maybe mental day?
Yeah. Back in pads.
I hit the bags.
Yeah, I was trying to think of,
Back in pads. We hit the bags.
And I'm out. I'm not glad to be back.
And I'm out. So we'll hear from the Chiefs coming up later on this hour. It will be Andy Reid, Garrett Nussmeier, FAU, and R. Mason Thomas. I want to talk Chiefs here in just a little bit, but I want to put a bow on okay, so it might be in a little bit that the Chiefs are talking, so being told they're slightly ahead of schedule. The media is heading to the tent right now, so that's usually about a 10-minute warning when that happens. Collins and Massey, as we were talking about and gave those numbers, as JJ was naming the different players earlier this week, which was cause for consternation and annoyance of, okay, we just named everybody, so you're fine. That's why you have optimism, is because you have the same people that you had heading into this year. But what we've seen with those numbers over the last 46 games for Collins and 53 games for Michael Massey, and that's typically what you use for your line of demarcation, 46 and 53.
That's what people traditionally
it's use. Not like you look at like the low point and see right after the low point and then start from there what they've done. Nobody does that.
No one does.
It's your traditional 46 and 53 game splits. So what they've done is roughly 780 OPS for both of them. That's fine. Like we talked about players, that guy's fine. I actually think that's a little better than, that's fine. I mean, it's almost an 800 OPS. The issue would not be at that point if Collins is doing that and Massey is doing that. If those guys are playing next year in the first 6 weeks of the season, I don't think we would look at them if they were losing and go, well, that's an issue. Like, I think that's fine. I think you can play in left field with a 780, 800 OPS and be a left fielder and have 50 extra base hits. You need to be getting on base a little bit more. But it's also, what do you have around them? Is your center fielder a defensive center fielder that's OPSing 600? Not ideal. Is, your right fielder a first baseman / right fielder who, you would like to see over the course of the season continue to progress and hit for more power? Is your third baseman healthy all year? Is your shortstop, MVP caliber? What do your catchers look like? And then, of course, the pitching staff. What do the starters, what do the bullpen look like? Because I don't think in 6 weeks, if we fast forward next year and it's the first 6 weeks of the season and the Royals are struggling and Collins and Massey have these exact numbers, I don't think we'd look at those guys and go, well, you got to get better in left field. Second base is your issue at this point. Because if they're struggling and these guys are doing that, you'd be hard-pressed to say that the issue would be because they're doing that and not doing enough.
Yeah, you really need Vinny and Garcia were probably the main two culprits this year on the bat side. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, the pitching side we've discussed that ad nauseum. So I think that your main three culprits offensively really have been Vinny, Garcia, and Salvi. Those three. I mean, Salvi OPS at 638, Vinny at 663, Garcia at 693. I mean, that's just. Those are your three of your top four hitters heading in this year?
Yeah.
With Bobby obviously being...
And this is a team that finished above 500 last year with Salvi and Vinny combining for 62 home runs and 213 RBIs, and Maikel Garcia having the career year for Maikel Garcia, OPSing at 800, and Bobby Witt, again, leading all of Major League Baseball in hits, finishing top 5 in the MVP race. They finished above 500 last year at 82. Still, 4 or 5 games out.
But if they would have done all of that, and Massey was doing this, and Isaac Collins was in left field, that would have been a playoff team.
Yep.
And so that's what they went off of if we
offensively, defensively, if we separate pitching staff, bullpen.
Correct. If we do that, and those guys do the same thing, and we just get a league average left fielder and a league average second base, that's a playoff team. And it would have been.
Yep.
But they didn't get that last year.
Michael Massey in 77 games, OPS 581.
last year, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he changed his stance and his swing a little bit. And now and I think it may have taken him a little bit at the big leagues to get used to it.
Sure.
And now he's OPSing at essentially 780. He's been good for most of the year, but really even better, recently, to where it's like, yeah, that guy can be your everyday second baseman, or at least predominantly as the strong side platoon against right-handers. And then Nick Lofton, if he has to be in there against left-handed pitching, then, hey, you go that route, and maybe Massey continues to improve and gets better against left-handed pitchers, and he's just your everyday second baseman and plays a good defensive second base.
And that's what makes it so hard, is because you can talk yourself into this team, at least on the position player side, is mostly solidified. Like, I get why JJ said
and you're
that.
not saying that. You're saying you can talk yourself into
Correct.
saying. I'm just worried somebody driving around going, Sterling just said the position players are mostly solidified. I want to make sure
Thank you.
That's not misinterpreted.
I'm saying I can understand how you can talk yourself into saying, well, yeah, Carter's going to take a step forward. Kag's going to take a step forward. Vinny is going to bounce back and be healthy. Bobby's going to continue to be Bobby. Well, Isaac Collins, look at this 48-game sample size, this 53-game sample size for Michael Massey. Garcia's going to bounce back. Like, you can really talk yourself into it, and I understand why JJ might feel that way, especially you're going to try and back your guys, but we've talked about it. There's too much fine.
Yeah.
What's it? Perfect is the enemy of great, or great's the enemy of good, or whatever. However you want to break that down. But right now, fine's the enemy of good, because they just keep saying everything's fine, and
it's kind of like the dog in the burning.
Everything's fine.
It's all fine. It's all fine.
But there is something to not having black holes in your lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, Tampa's done that for years, to where you're looking at that lineup going, well, who's their stud? Who's their star? Now they obviously have Junior Caminero. But for a long time, it was, well, they didn't have anyone who was bad. Everyone provided something. There's just not enough top-end talent. I mean, as good as Cags has been this year, which is, I'm thrilled with what he's done, he's still OPS in 762. It's not like he's 850.
Yeah. And I mean,
I'm not saying Cags is the issue, but I'm saying it's not like he's, when Nick Kurtz got called up and was just absolutely smoking OPS in 900. That's not what Cags has done.
Yeah. If Cags can get closer to 800 OPS and ends up with like 30 home runs, I'd feel good about it. Like the first full season in baseball, that's what he does.
Yeah, because Kurtz last year OPS'd over 1,000.
Yeah, I'm not asking him to do that.
He OPS'd over 1,000. This year, he's at 879.
Yeah, and where Cags was last year at OPSing at 532 to be now OPSing at 762, 230 points better. I'll take that, especially if he improves 230 points from this year to next year. But I think when you talk about Vinny, Salvi, and Maikel Garcia, I mean, obviously the injuries to the starting staff and how brutal the bullpen's been, I mean, from one year to the next, it's the biggest difference in why the team was good enough to be in contention last year and finish above 500, because you had, again, Salvi and Vinny combining for 62 home runs and 213 RBIs, 798 OPS for Vinny, 730 OPS for Salvi, but again, he had 65 extra base hits with 30 home runs. And then Maikel Garcia OPS'd 800 last year. This year, every one of those guys is OPSing in the 600s and missing games. So you go from two guys in Maikel and Vinny that OPS'd 800 last year, and Salvi that was 30 and 100 last year, and you turn them into 663 for Vinny OPS, 693 for Maikel, 638 for Salvi, and those guys missing too many games this year. Yeah. You had those three guys do what they did a year ago, and then neither is really coming close. Salvi may get close to the home runs. With 16 he has now, he may get close to the 30 with 40-something games left. We'll see if he gets to 25. I doubt it. It'd be 9 more. He's got 16 over 108. You cut that in half. with however many games are remaining. We need to take a time out. The final whistle just blew. The horn blew. So we'll take a time out. We'll come back. We'll hear from Andy Reid, Garrett Nussmeier, FAU, and R. Mason Thomas. More Zone next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We'll hear from the Chiefs coming up here in just a little bit. They're huddling now. They're huddling up. Is it the sugar huddle? Kind of huddle. We'll hear from Andy Reid. He'll probably give some updates on Trey Smith not practicing today. Cyrus Allen started practice, then left practice, did not go up the hill, but just did not participate anymore. Trying to think who else that would have been. Benson moved to right guard.
Yeah.
For Trey Smith, and Jalen Moore played right tackle with the ones. Let's see. Bossa, not in pads today. Gelati, still no pads. Xavier Worthy, Christian Fulton, not in pads. Snead and Delane, no pads. Those have been typical. Like the Worthy, Fulton, Snead, and Delane have been the guys that have. Omar Norman Lott is still.
It's great when all your corners and wide receivers are.
Do you need skill position? Do you need those guys? I'm not sure if you do or not.
No, it's great when 80% of your corner room is.
What are you gonna do?
Not practicing.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah, the huddle has broken up, so they are no longer huddling.
Oh my gosh, sad.
Yes. By the way, I read Vahe's story this morning. Brett Veach with the anecdote that they were at practice the other day, and Eric Bieniemy called Brett Veach because Eric Bieniemy's been streaming the practices. He called Brett Veach, and it's like, you're not supposed to have a phone out here on the practice field. He saw it was Eric Bieniemy, answered it, and Eric Bieniemy said, "Put Coach on." Handed it to Coach, and Eric Bieniemy told Andy Emmett Johnson needs to be doing something different. Like Emmett Johnson was lined up here on that play. Make sure he does this.
That's awesome.
It's awesome, but doesn't that go to show what they're missing? I mean, that goes.
Yeah.
He's streaming and he's got to call Andy to say this instead of just walking over and saying, "Hey, like before it happens, whoa, Emmett, hey, why are you here? You need to be right here. This is the spot. See where you're at. Understand it. This is where you're supposed to be." How many of those other things right now are slipping by because he's watching it on the stream that they've set up for him so he could watch practice? But it was a cool anecdote that even at that point, he's like, no, that's got to change. Here's Andy Reid, and he's getting closer. He's heading over, walking, heading to the tent.
Sashane.
That's what he did. He's moseying on over. He's doing that Missouri waltz right on over to the podium. He's skipping on over,
I could see Andy being good at skipping.
What does it look like when Andy has a skip in his step? Here's Andy Reid.
Jeffrey, one positive about these injuries is there's nothing that the guys aren't coming back from. So it's but we got a couple little nicks and bruises. Baza has a groin strain. Gelati still working on the hamstring. Trey, his hip was bothering him. Sent him to a specialist just to have it checked out. Precautionary. He's going to be okay. Legarius, just like we did when he was here before, we're managing his knee. We know the problem, and we managed through that. And then Drew, like last year, he gets low back tightness and some soreness spasms there. So we're just calming him down. And then Xavier's making progress with the shoulder. Delane got good work today. Rasheed got good work today. So good work all the way around. We got a couple different situations we were able to work on, and I thought it was a very productive day. So with that, time's yours.
Coach, on Cyrus, we saw him come out and was out early, and then he kind of went off. Is that part of the plan, just kind of
ease him back in? Yeah. He did a good job when he was out there, so that was positive.
When you see a guy who's young like him, who wants to be out there, what's he been like in the meetings and all that stuff leading up to finally getting back out there?
Yeah, no, he's at all the meetings. He's focused in, wants to get out there, doesn't want to miss. None of these guys want to miss. I mean, they all want to be out there and going, so that's not an issue. And he's no different than that. So he's been working hard, with his rehab, and we'll just ease him back in, like you said.
Still a decision a week away, but what will you factor in on whether or not you play Patrick in the preseason?
Yeah, listen, there's a pretty good chance I don't play him, and percentages are leading that way. And I don't know if I'll play him the second or third game. I don't know that. So, but percentages probably lean against doing that and letting the other guys. We've got new people in those other positions and behind him that need some work. And so, the more reps they get, the better.
We'll talk to Garrett today. I guess since you've had him, what has he shown you that gives you confidence that he could run an offense?
Yeah, every time he's in, he moves the ball. So that's I look at that, and then. Any of the mistakes we'll correct as we go, but his pass production has been a real positive, and he gets it. He works hard at it. His dad, his dad's a coach, and he grew up that way, knowing about detail, and So he's doing a nice job, and we've loaded him up. I mean, we haven't pulled back on anything with him as far as volume, and he's handled it. So, good.
Patrick, I've seen him go out a lot, run more, look like some design runs too. It's just the growing confidence in him and his abilities coming off that injury.
To play in a game, you've got to have that. Right? You have to have escapability, or you can't be in there. You just can't play that position and be a target. You've got to have some mobility back there. So he works on that. If it's not there down the field, he takes off and runs. And that every time he does it, it builds a little bit more confidence in it, and the leg and all that bit. So, but that's an important part of it.
Go ahead. Benson moved in and played some guard. I know you haven't looked at everything, but what do you think first blush?
Yeah, you know what? I thought he did okay. There were a couple of hiccups in there. Things move a little faster when you're inside there. Everything jumps on you quickly. And so when you go against Spags, you're going to get a lot of different flavors. And you got to be able to make those decisions like right now in an area that's faster than the tackle position. So, but I thought he held his own physically for sure. And then there are a couple things he's got to pick up, from there.
You've always said that you enjoy teaching the most. With this group, what have you gotten the most enjoyment out of teaching this group with their particular skills?
Yeah, they want to learn. The best part about teaching is that the student listens. If you have a classroom that you're preaching to and their mind's somewhere else, that's no fun. So these guys want to get better, and everything you tell them, they're receptive to, and they'll try it. And then that's kind of why we're in the business as coaches, to teach.
What you thought of Bashar?
Go ahead.
What you thought of Bashar? Where that seems to be getting a lot of passing game too.
Yeah, so protection for the young guys is a big thing. So we've been putting him in positions there where he's got to, you got to know the rules. You've got to be able to step up physically and hold on to it. And he's done a nice job with that. And so with that, he's gotten more reps. We know he can run the ball. We know he can catch the ball. But that other part's a big part. And the more reps he gets at, the better he's got.
Last couple. I was just going to follow up, and I feel like we've asked you about a lot of guys, but Bashard was someone you mentioned going into the offseason that you wanted. Did you see him put in that sort of weight gaining program?
Yeah. He looks a little bit bigger, and he was skinny last year, but he looks like he's put some good weight on. Seems to be in good shape. I mean, he's out there running around and able to handle it. So it's been good.
A couple of edge rushers today, Felix and R. Mason. Can you talk about how they look so far in camp?
Yeah, so I mentioned Felix the other day, just his get off. That's what jumps out to me. And then he's bringing power with it. So with that, it's one thing to run around people and do all that, but there's a point as a defensive end, man, you got to be able to blow things up a little bit, physically blow things up. And I feel like he's worked hard at that and doing a nice job. All coming from that core area, hips, hamstrings, where he had the issues, but he's done a nice job there. And then R. Mason's making progress. Every day is important for him. And you keep stacking and learning. And he's got a great coach with Joe, both of them do, with Joe. And Joe rides him. As long as you're listening and doing what he says, it's a good thing. But he's been hanging with him, so it's good.
Have you had any update with Eric and his family situation? How it's
Yeah, so Mia continues to improve, which is important, and so we're heading the right direction. And we'll just see when he gets back. He gets back here, but I know he's chomping at the bit, and Mia's probably wanting to get him out of there too, probably. But so, anyways, that's you good? All right, man.
All right, there's Andy Reid, and yeah, a number of injuries. And as he said, there is some positivity to the injuries, is that there's some nicks and bruises, but nothing that is going to be out for the season for these players. And you get through a full padded 2.5-hour practice with the long drive drill, and seems like you came out of it okay, because the injuries that he's talking about were injuries before camp happened. Here's Garrett Nussmeier.
Sorry?
What's been the most challenging thing about taking in everything Andy wants you to do?
Yeah, Man, I wouldn't say there's one particular thing that's the most challenging. I think I'm just trying to, learn and grow in many different areas of my game. Being around a legendary coach like that, who's had a lot of experience with some really great quarterbacks. Just anything that he says, I try to listen and take notes. And even if he's not talking to me, if he's talking to Pat, if he's talking to Justin, just trying to soak up as much knowledge as I can around him.
You said that he's kind of loaded you up. Do you feel used to just the added plays every single day by this point? Are you in a good career?
Yeah, no, it's been awesome. It's a lot of thinking. There's a lot of complexity in our offense, and that's how I would want it as a quarterback. I'm a coach's kid. I'm a kid who's grown up around this game, and I love the different schemes. I love the different ways to attack, and we do so many different awesome things here. It's been awesome for me and a good challenge for me, and it's helped me grow my knowledge of the game.
You brought yourself on tape, you mentioned growing and learning. What have you grown from and learned from throughout this game?
Yeah, I think, as I said, so many different things in so many different areas of my game, just learning whatever I can from Coach Reed. And, one thing they're on me a lot about is my feet and just, continuing to mature that way and, with my eyes and things like that. So, as I said before, I don't know if I could put, my finger on one exact thing, but, just trying to learn multiple different things from him.
You go from, you were the face of a program. All the cameras, all the focus for like the last 3 years. What's it like coming here and having a lower profile?
Yeah, it's an awesome experience. I'm super grateful to be here. This is something that I've dreamed about my entire life. At the end of the day, I'm super blessed and I'm super grateful. I'm in the NFL. And so I thank God each and every day when I wake up that, this is my life right now. And so, I try to make the most of it. It's definitely different. It's a little bit of a humbling experience, but it's awesome, And so I'm in such a great room with two great quarterbacks, two great vets in front of me, and with Justin and Pat. So just trying to, learn everything I can from them, spend as much time around Pat as I can, see his routines and things like that. And just continue to try and, make myself better by being around them.
What stands out about Patrick in the classroom and watching film and stuff?
Yeah, for one, he's going on year 10, so just, his experience and, one of the cool parts about playing quarterback is, you can see things as much as you like, but you get better from playing quarterback from going through the experiences in a game, going through real situations. And so he's been through anything you can throw at him. He's had game-winning drives in the Super Bowl. He's had situations where things didn't go his way in a Super Bowl. He's been third quarter in AFC Championship. He's seen every scenario and seen every situation. So, he's like a library of knowledge, in a sense. He's played in the biggest of moments, the biggest of the biggest. And so, for me, it's just, when he talks about those moments, whatever I'm doing, I'm listening, just seeing what he says about the situations, what the atmosphere is like, just anything I can.
We probably won't talk to you before next week's game. You're going to get some playing time, it looks like. How excited are you to be, I know it's a preseason game, but to be in an NFL game, and what do you expect?
Yeah. I don't know how that's all going to go, but, like I said before, I'm super blessed. I'm grateful to be here. At the end of the day, I'm playing in the NFL right now. It's something I've dreamed about since I was 5 years old. And so I'm super grateful for the opportunity. And whenever I get to play, I'll be ready.
Gary, you had that successful 2-minute drill today. What's a sequence like that do for you as far as the confidence goes, and even just the work you're doing with the teammates out there on that team?
Yeah, it was a great drive. At the end of the day, it's not just me out there. We got 11 guys out there all executing and doing their jobs. And so, confidence, sure. I guess you could say that. But, for me, as I said before, when I first, got my first opportunity at LSU to be the starter, I'm still playing the same game that I've played since I was 6 years old. It's still 100 yards, 120 yards from back end zone to back end zone, and so just going out there and just, as I said, as I've gotten here, just trying to make myself a better player, the things that I've learned from Coach Reed, from Pat, just trying to put that all together. I think that's more of my goal. I'm not as much focused on the results, trying to score, do whatever. Obviously I want to execute the situation. But for me right now, I'm just trying to make myself a better player, and it's more about the process.
All right, thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. God bless.
All right, there's Garrett Nussmeier. We've heard from Andy Reid and Garrett Nussmeier. I'm assuming Nussmeier will get a longer look next Saturday against the Rams. We saw a third-round draft pick last night get a longer look with Carson Beck. He did look good.
And Haynes King.
Yeah, Haynes King. Fruit of the Loom was out there, but it's just like whatever you choose, he clearly is a fan of one of them. We'll hear from FAU and R. Mason Thomas coming up in just a little bit. They might be in Todd texted and said they might be an autograph line. What is that? Today's schedule. Now I got to pull it up. Let's see. Today is the August 7th. Not only on August 7th, it is the August 7th. It's just
Ohio State.
Yes, it's just team today. So it's team autograph session. Tuesday was specifically defensive line. So sometimes, like, okay, this guy's talking, but every day they have other specific things, like today's team, tomorrow's team because it's Family Fun Day, and then Monday's defensive backs. Then you've got QBs on Wednesday, August 12th. That's a good one to be up there. Quarterbacks and running backs. You get a little Patrick Mahomes and Kenneth Walker there on Wednesday, August 12th.
I personally want a Patrick Mahomes and Brashard Smith.
Yes.
Same ball.
Yeah.
Like my George Brett.
That's right.
Tony Pena Jr.
No, but it can't be that because Tony Pena. No, you know what it is? I got it. Because Brashard Smith, we don't know yet. He might be the star running back this year. I got one for you to go the Tony Pena Jr. route.
Cam Thomas.
No. Patrick Mahomes, Carson Steele. Because Tony Pena Jr. at the beginning there was like, oh my goodness, this guy might be good, and then nothing, and gone. Carson Steele, fun UDFA story, started the game that Rashee Rice tore his ACL. The starting running back was Carson Steele in that game until he fumbled.
Luis Rizamet.
Oh, yeah. That would be a great one. I may have a Luis Rizamet autograph, or my son may have that one because we went to the Trey Smith and MVS softball game.
That had to be one of the dumbest things that everyone got so excited about.
I guess it wasn't MVS because MVS was a couple of years prior to that. It was Trey Smith and somebody else last year because it would be tough for MVS to have the softball game here when he was on a different team. But Luis Rizamet, we met a family. We were in Disney at the hotel. We met a family. Didn't meet the family. My daughter became friends with a girl from Wales, and I was trying to look for her family because I wanted to talk about Luis Rizamet. Hey, we're kids of Luis Rizamet. Am I right? Who?
That's such a wild...
No way they would say who. That's their national sport, and he's their national player.
That was such a weird situation. This guy's like, hey, I haven't really ever played football before, but I'm just going to leave at the height of my ability in the sport I play.
I'm one of the best rugby players, certainly in this country, and I'm just going to leave and go play American football. I'm going to try that. But it was a fun story. Those are fun stories.
Great story.
That might be a good one, though. Mahomes and Luis Rizamet. But if we're looking at like quarterback running back combination with George Brett and Tony Pena Jr., I think Carson Steele fits the mold. It could be Brashard Smith.
Darwin Thompson.
Oh, that's a good one, too. I like that one.
Cyrus Gray.
Oh, yeah, Cyrus Gray. I like that.
At least Darwin Thompson's a champion. You
Yeah.
can kind of spin it like that.
Champion. He's going to ball, never fall. Champion. We'll hear from FAU coming up here in just a little bit. In fact, here's FAU.
Generally speaking, how do you think camp is going?
Camp, I'm just learning every day, trying to get better. It's going pretty good, honestly. Just still a couple things I got to work on, a couple technique errors I need to work on and stuff like that to get better. But good thing is camp, so every day at a time I can get 1% better.
Is this as healthy as you've been at camp?
Yeah, this is the healthy I've been, for sure.
Because of that, do you feel faster or do you feel more powerful right now?
I was hurt last season and then just repaired hamstring, and then I feel good. So I'm rolling this camp, so I'm happy to work.
You felt like you were having a nice preseason last year. I guess how challenging was it to have the injury and then to have to rebound for all season?
It was tough, honestly, but at the end of the day, work will get you anywhere you want. So it was just I had that mindset going throughout the off season. Seeing all my teammates play, it was kind of hard, but me just focusing on getting better, and that was just my motivation.
How was the recovery process for you, just being out?
It was tough, but at the end of the day, like this is a blessing to be in this type of job. So it was like one of those things is like either I can get better or get worse. So I try to choose to be the best I can.
What are you trying to prove at this camp and this year?
Prove? I'm just trying to get better one day at a time. That's it.
Can you contrast how you feel as a player today as opposed to when you came in as a rookie?
I just know a lot more, honestly. I think that's what it is. And I'm learning a lot, especially with the defense. There's a lot of things you can learn every year. There's a lot of guys still that are in the defense for a long time that still learn a lot of things from Spags. So yeah.
Is there anyone that you've kind of leaned on to help you through, the injury, the mental side of things, and then getting back to camp healthy as ever?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of my teammates. I met up with George this offseason a couple times. Just getting better, getting right. Just learning off of him because obviously he's a great guy and just a great teammate and a great pass rusher. So just learning based off him.
Well, a couple more.
It seems like, Felix, that between your teammates and people in the organization, that everybody's rooting for you, especially with the bad luck that you've had with the injury-wise. Do you get a sense of that? Do you get a feeling around this team that they want you to succeed?
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't call it really bad luck. I mean, just things happen. Adversity happens with everybody. I know for sure all you guys dealt with adversity. It's just how you respond. So, yeah.
When something like that happens, and then you go through rehab and get healthy, did it make you realize maybe what that felt like again? I mean, did it make you realize that maybe you were dealing with some things even before it really tore off?
I mean, yeah, coming in here, I was hurt. So like it was. I mean, I was dealing with my hammy this whole time. So other than that, I mean, I just been working with it and stuff like that. And now got surgery. I'm getting better.
We'll go last two, Nate and Todd. Felix, I know it's early, but what do you think of just the potential that this D-line group has compared to previous years?
This group is very hungry, and we got a bunch of young guys that act like vets. Basically how they roll, how they learn the game, and everything like that. So we got a pretty good group, and obviously with Chris and George leading the way, it's looking pretty good.
It's every day's like pressure in this job. You feel you're healthy now. Any pressure to go out there and be able to perform? How do you manage that part?
At the end of the day, just focus on getting 1% better, and if I focus on that, things will play part.
Thanks, dude.
All right, thank you.
All right, there's FAU Felix and Udike Uzama going into the last year of his contract, and a big year for him if he's going to stick around in the NFL, even if it's not with the Chiefs. But go out there and you don't do much. Maybe a team takes a chance on you because you were a first-round draft pick, but if you haven't shown anything,
Taco Charlton.
Yeah, true. But he said since his rookie year, his hamstring has been bothering him, and then finally just had surgery, and now he's better. So here is our Mason Thomas.
Did all the rookie stuff and everything. Now you're quite a ways into this camp. How do you feel like you fit right now?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty well fit. Still learning things, still processing things. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I'd say my bad. Still processing things. Sound like I got a list. My bad. Yeah, it's going great so far. Yeah, still installing. So I can learn something every day of practice.
Physically, do you feel like you definitely belong in this?
Yep, absolutely.
Similar to that, we asked Josh about you the other day, and he said he almost has to go off sides to keep up with blocking you.
He said that?
He did. Do moments like that give you a sense of belonging? Like, are there moments that you're getting your feeling?
Well, now he's cheating. No, I'm joking. No, that brings, confidence, because he's a great tackle to go against to, get better with, and he gives me the hardest work out of the O-line. So that brings confidence. Yeah, I'm kind of happy that he said that. Yeah.
What makes Josh so tough to go against?
Yeah, he's seasoned. He's been through a whole season. Yeah, this is on his second year, so he just knows how to play people like my body type, play people like me. He's seen it before. He's done it before, so he knows what to eliminate, what to take away, and so that's what I have to find different things in my pass rush or my game to go against him.
George said that he has feet like a ballerina. I know it's kind of an old school thing to do for linemen to do ballet or something. Does anybody on this team do anything like that to help with their footwork?
You said George do ballet?
No, George said that about Josh Simmons.
Oh, he does ballet.
He has footwork like a ballerina.
Ballerina, yeah. I mean, like a ballerina.
Does.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Yeah, they've been doing this for. Well, I'm 21. They're like 24, probably 17 years. So, I mean, technique, stuff like that, they're kind of like second nature. So I wouldn't be surprised. That makes sense if they do.
Mason, we see you with Terry and Joe a lot, some one-on-one individual time. What are you getting out of those little one-on-one sessions with them that really help you fine-tune your details?
Yeah, they're really big on details, and it's the little things. It's not even that something that you would think I would do. I didn't know I was doing it when they would call it out. So it'd just be like little details, like your step, your hand placement, where your eyes kind of help you play faster. So that's just little things like that.
What have you seen from Peter, or what impresses you about him so far?
Yeah, he's explosive for his size. Very explosive for his size. He has a knack for getting the football, and he does it smooth. He does it well. He does it quick. He does it fast, and it's been causing problems for any O-line he go against.
Dorm life. I mean, it's upperclassmen. You're not limited to dorms down in college anymore. What's dorm life been like here? How the rookie class get along?
I mean, it reminds me of freshman year of college. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Dorm life is funny because you got to share a bathroom. You can't touch the thermostat, so you can't make the room how cold you want it to be. That's really the big thing, the sleep part. I'm fine with the room. It's just the sleeping. The AC doesn't get as cold. So dorm life's fun, though.
Who's the joker in your rookie class? Anyone pulling pranks or anything up there? Or is it all just
to be honest, we be going to bed. No, to be honest, we go as soon as we get in the room after snack, go to bed. It's funny how you say that. I mean, I don't know. People don't have time to play around. Body hurting too much to play around. Yeah.
Pro O-linemen maybe emphasize the urgency to have multiple moves to get to the quarterback.
How does the O-lineman?
Yeah, how does going against pro O-linemen emphasize the urgency to have multiple ways to get to the quarterback?
Yeah, it definitely, because they know they've been doing this a long time, so they know what to take away. So you have to have a counter, a second rush, something else to continue in the rush, because if they take that away and now is your go-to move, well then are you just going to be out for the rest of the game? Are you going to be out for the rest of practice? So you have to find ways to get better, find ways to beat them.
Mason, you seem like a real student of the game. When did that develop for you? What kind of the process, and how do you go about kind of doing your homework? Do you take notes?
Yeah. I mean, Oklahoma definitely. I started building those habits at Oklahoma because I definitely wasn't doing it freshman year because I just didn't know what I didn't know. But then once you start to, get in the coaching staff room, hear what they talk about, and especially hats off to my position coach, Coach Chavis, and Coach V, you start to get in their minds and see how they think. And it's like, well, 10 set on third down, pass. And then you see the tight end demeanor, the tight end swap. So it's like a lot of the things they see is what help us as players, because I know when I wasn't doing it, I wasn't playing as fast as I could, or I didn't know what I was doing. I was just running off like a chicken head cut off. So I think those habits started building at Oklahoma, and you can start finding those things, and it helps you better your game. Like if those things I was pointing out earlier didn't help me, then it'd just be a waste of time. But those things are the things that help you get better.
All good? Thanks.
All right, there is R. Mason Thomas. We heard from FAU, heard from Garrett Nussmeier and Andy Reid. We shall take a timeout. We'll come back, and in a little bit, we will talk with Matt Derrick, get his thoughts on what he has seen over the last week, 4 padded practices this week, and how that compared to last week when we hadn't seen the pads come on. This time last week we were talking to Matt Derrick. It was 3 days at camp in the acclimation period, and now it's 4 days of pads. What's Matt Derrick been watching for? What's he seen so far? We can go back and look at his storylines and things he was specifically looking for heading into camp and how that has worked. We'll talk a little bit about what we heard today from R. Mason Thomas, some of the injuries that are there with the Chiefs. Cyrus Allen, Xavier Worthy, Stephon Diggs is a commander. Jahmyr Gibbs is now the highest paid running back in NFL history. We talked about that yesterday, about what that contract meant for, looking at it specifically for Kenneth Walker. And Jahmyr Gibbs got more than what Bijan Robinson got. So we looked at Bijan Robinson's contract and Jonathan Taylor's contract and compared it to Kenneth Walker. And now Gibbs, just, even more money. for Jahmyr Gibbs. So we'll talk about all of those things and more with Matt Derrick. That comes up next. We're hanging out here on a Friday edition. More Zone next. We'll talk with Matt Derrick coming up at noon. Give him some time to get from the tent over to the student union or wherever he's going to be when we talk with him. But Matt Derrick coming up in just a little bit, and we'll talk with him about things he has seen at training camp. We are 8 days away from the Chiefs hitting the football field out at Arrowhead Stadium with the unknown about Patrick Mahomes, if he will play in any of these games. One of the first things that Andy Reid was asked about was, and Sam McDowell, I mean, obviously prefaced it by saying, look, I know we're still 8 days away, and you'll probably weigh in on this next week. But do you have an idea if Patrick Mahomes is going to suit up and play next week? And Andy Reid said, good chance we don't play him. The percentage is leaning against that. Don't know about second or third game either. but probably leaning against, and the percentage is not in favor of him playing week number 1 of the preseason, by the way. Last year, he played the first preseason game and played the first series. Second preseason game did not go out there. Third preseason game played the first half, except for one series. I think they scored like 17 points. Yeah. It was like 3 scoring drives in the third preseason game last year to start off, which was clearly going to be indicative of what the offense was going to look like.
The deep ball's back.
Son of a biscuit eater. That did not translate, but that was how Mahomes was used last year, fully healthy. So if he only went out there for he threw the ball one time, went out there the first series in the first game last year of preseason, and he's coming back from a knee injury, I guess he's probably not going to be out there in game number 1. But he didn't play game 2 and then played a decent portion of game 3 that ended up being like the dress rehearsal. We may see doesn't play week 1, doesn't play week 2, maybe week 3 he gets a series or 2. Or what I've guessed is Mahomes saying, I want to play in the preseason. And Andy saying, okay, great, we'll play in the preseason. You get the first drive of game number 3. Handoff, 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 handoff. Come on, Pat. Come on over here. Well done. Shake his hand and get ready for Monday Night Football, September 14th. Hey, you played. You said you wanted to play. I played you. What are you mad at me for? You know, now you want to be the offensive coordinator too?
You think he would actually do that? No. Patrick's calling his own number at least on one. Audible.
Patrick's going to get out there and be like Varsity Blues and just change the...
He'll go, Liz,
the hell with Kilmer. I'll get you in the end zone.
Liz.
That's right. Yeah.
Back with what we do best. RPOs, baby. It's just a PO.
It's a pass option, baby. Here's the thing. If you put Patrick Mahomes in for one drive and you give him an RPO, he's throwing the pill. You know he's doing that. He's not going to hand off in a preseason game when it is the only drive he's going to have. Come on now. That was, what we heard from Andy Reid, and that don't expect Patrick to be out there in game number 1. We'll see about 2 and 3, but I wouldn't expect him to be out there game number 1 against the Rams coming up next Saturday. So we'll see. And then, offensively, one of the players that was going to end up on my lower optimism for, with the preface and the understanding that this is not, oh my God, they suck. It's like, okay, what was I hoping to see? I haven't really seen it yet. That sort of stands out. It's kind of like in fantasy football, Sterling. I don't know if you play it or not. When somebody says like a bust, it might be, well, he's a bust because you drafted him in the first round and he ended up being more like a 4th rounder. So it's kind of a bust this year. Or, this guy's a sleeper. He should go in the 9th or 10th round, and he was taken in the 14th. Well, if he goes in the 6th, he's no longer a sleeper. Okay, so a little bit like that. Like,
a napper.
Yes, exactly. Winners and losers from the game. It doesn't mean they're actual losers. It's just, they didn't play well or whatever. So that's where, it comes through when I'm talking about like higher or lower. And Andy Reid talking about Brashard Smith, is connected to one of the guys that I'm a little bit lower on, understanding it so early in his career too, is Emmett Johnson. We just haven't seen much from him, and he's coming in 4th. Like, he's clearly behind Brashard Smith in the pecking order. And we know it's Kenneth Walker. Pretty decent idea that it's Amari DiMercato. And who are they giving the opportunities to continue to get better at pass protection? Is it Brashard Smith with those live bullets, or is it Emmett Johnson? It's Brashard Smith.
Well, Brashard Smith is probably going to be the better pass catcher because former wide receiver.
Yeah.
So I think you're hoping he can do it.
But I would guess like if Emmett Johnson were somebody that they were going, hey, if K9 goes down, we're going to this guy. I think they'd be trying to get him up to speed quickly with pass protection. Like after this first week, if I were to redo my 53-man roster, I'd probably go put Brashard Smith on the roster. I think you two both had Brashard Smith on your roster. I did not.
We did, yeah.
I only had 3 running backs, and Brashard Smith was one of the odd men out when I was trying to come up with the numbers to get to 53. After 1 week, I'd probably look at it and say, I'm going to put Brashard Smith in there because he's had some time running with the ones. There was a padded practice earlier this week when Kenneth Walker was out there with the ones. The next possession, the next series with the ones, it was Brashard Smith running with the ones, not DeMarcado, not Emmett Johnson. And Andy Reid saying, like, Brashard Smith, we know he can run the ball. We know he can catch. Protection is the big thing. We're putting him in a position so he can do that and get better at that. He's done a nice job. He just has to keep getting reps. Well, that's what they're doing. They're giving him the reps. So we've talked about what it means for Khalil Benson being in there, being the guy that's starting at right tackle and then today right guard for Trey Smith. I think there's something to be said for Brashard Smith when they're trying to get reps at pass protection to get somebody up to speed. It's Smith, not Johnson. Doesn't mean that, 2 weeks from now it might be Johnson and it's like, oh, wow, Emmett Johnson, EJ, whatever the nickname might be, I'm not sure. More like Emmett Smith, am I right? Or as you would just call him, Sterling, Emmett.
My boy. My guy.
You were out of the dude, Michael. There's a total aside. Sorry, right now my mind is just jumping around. You were out of the control room yesterday, Michael, and Sterling was talking about something. He goes, "Well, that's when I talked to Emmett, and he had said." And I go, "Hold on, did you just first name Emmett Smith?"
I was like, "What reference did I miss?"
Yes, you were out. I looked over in the control room, like, "Did you hear that?" But you weren't in there. I'm like, Sterling, did you just first name Emmett Smith? He's like, yeah, well,
they're tight like that.
We're cool. We're tight like that.
Yeah.
Those who know ball can just call him Emmett. But those are the two things that stood out from Andy. Just Patrick Mahomes, and then for me specifically, the Brashard Smith stuff. So we'll see what happens with that. But
let's ask Matt Derrick that.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll ask Matt Derrick if anything stood out from Andy or Nuss, Cush. I got Cush Lash, Nuss Lash. FAU, interesting, he said from the time he showed up to camp his rookie year, his hamstring has been an issue.
Seems like something you should probably get fixed.
Year 3 just said, bleep it, I'm having surgery on it, and I'm going to miss the year. Now he feels better. We'll see. And R. Mason Thomas was sort of blushing when he heard that Josh Simmons said that that he has to almost jump off sides to keep up with him. He said that? Well, that's kind of cool. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. A lot of Chiefs today as they wrap up another day at practice in St. Joe, fully padded. Longer practice today. The dreaded long drive drill today, 14 plays. Looks like the Chiefs, yet another practice, made it out pretty healthy. And as Andy Reid started his press conference with the different injuries right now, made a note of it, and it's certainly worth pointing out that the injuries they're dealing with right now are nicks and bruises, nothing of the real serious type that you'd be looking at longer term. Matt Derrick, Chiefs Digest 41 is the Mike podcast. Matt, are you relieved to talk with us now?
I am, because it's pulling me out of a furious debate about whether the cookie brownie on dessert today is allowed under the dessert challenge or not.
How would that be allowed?
Controversy.
How would that be allowed? That's a dessert.
Well, okay, at the beginning of camp, three 8-10 contributors and get competitors at the same time, and myself and Jesse Newell and Pete Sweeney, and I might be talking about Fight Club here, I don't know.
Whoa, you don't talk about Fight Club.
We all agreed to a dessert challenge, which is that you don't eat the desserts, except the cookie brownie was exempted. The cookie brownie day, you can have dessert. Well, the challenge and the controversy occurred because the other day there was this s'mores concoction that everybody was swearing by and said you gotta have the s'mores thing, and it was good, but so we took a vote, and my understanding is that the vote was that the cookie brownie was still, if it showed up on the menu, that was a legal dessert, but we were carving out an exception for the s'mores concoction in addition to the cookie brownie. Oh. Well, Jesse Newell's very upset because he's the reason for the cookie brownie exemption in the first place, and he was under the understanding that the vote was the s'mores concoction is the only dessert allowed during camp, and
that took the place
off the table.
Yeah, so you went from, by voting on that, his mind was you voted to switch the exemption from cookie brownie to s'mores, and you and I don't know if Pete Sweeney, what side he's on, or maybe he's just abstaining on this one, but you are saying no, the original cookie brownie exempt still stands. We just voted to add another exemption for the s'mores treat. This is an interesting one.
And Pete's the deciding vote, and he has not arrived yet.
So, okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, we need to get clarification on what he thought he was voting for. It's a mess. I mean, we need a parliamentarian here.
Yes.
We need some Robert's Rules of Order to bring some chaos, or excuse me, some peace to the chaos here. It's worse than Washington.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. I feel like because Andy Reid is more old school when it comes to training camp and living in the dorm and everything, I need this vote to be more old school. I need you guys to wear the white curly wigs before you guys take the podium to talk. That's what I need to have happen. You guys wearing the old Continental Congress wigs, and then somebody has a cane, and so when you guys talk and make a good point, they just pound their canes to agree with you instead of here, yeah, here. That's what I want to have happen. And just all of it totally, old school back in the day conversations.
Well, we got a lot of controversies here at camp, Jason, and some of them actually involve football on the field. I mean, Jesse and I can't even agree on whether or not Missouri is the national champions in college football of 1960. Of course they are.
Yes, they are.
No,
Thank you. I've said this. It's not Ole Miss. It's not anyone else. It is Missouri.
It was 8-2 for crying out loud.
They're not. It sucks that they weren't named it at the time, but let's not do this. Let's not do the thingy.
You're right, Matt.
Let's not do it. I'm more on the side of maybe win one. Win your first one. Matt Derrick is with us. Chiefs Digest 41 is the mic. Okay, Matt. So last week, or maybe it was the week. No, I think it was last week. It was last week we had you on. Nope, 2 weeks ago, and I asked you pre-camp storylines. So yes. That was that was the day that they were reporting. The rookies and quarterbacks were reporting, and we all agreed. The Patrick Mahomes #1. But then we all had different number 2 storylines, and all 4 of us did. Your number 2 storyline, or something that you were paying attention to and watching and wanted to see, was Rashee Rice at camp. So we have seen now a full week and a couple of days. So 9 days of everybody being there. We've seen 4 padded practices. We've seen Rashee Rice, with Snead at different times. So looking at these 9 days now, your number 2 storyline after Patrick Mahomes' health was, what are you seeing from Rashee Rice? You've been out there every day, Matt. What are you seeing from Rashee Rice?
I would say we're not seeing a full go from Rashee Rice. I would still label him as a limited participant. I mean, if this were going by regular season rules, he's taking part in padded plays now, and that portion of practice. So that's a good sign. Really, it's just a length of practice at this point. They're still building him up as far as that goes. So he's not. Today was a 2-hour practice. He wasn't in there the entire 2 hours. He was kind of, and even then, I mean, he's not going over to the training tent or anything. He's just on the sideline. So at this point, it's kind of more of a pitch count kind of thing as they just continue to ramp up his work. But I also think that since the first time we saw him on the field, there's been a smoothness that's been developing. I thought he was kind of stiff and a little tight at the beginning of camp, but right now he looks like he's running pretty free and clear. Doesn't look like there's any hitch or hold up in that knee. So he looks to me like he's ready to be full go, and I would expect that he probably will. If it's not tomorrow, then probably certainly after the break on Sunday.
Yeah, that was so one of the things I definitely wanted to ask you about was we've seen some video, and there was video a couple of days ago in pads, and it was just them running routes. And I hate today's day and age to where everything you have to second guess is that AI? Is that created? I can't believe that Travis Kelce is walking around there,
450 pounds.
Right?
Yeah.
Talking about Polk High scoring, 4 touchdowns in a game. It's odd that he looks like that. So the AI stuff is dumb. Made sure that this was not AI, but it was Rashee Rice running routes. And man, you talked about looking stiff, and there was no fluidity, and it almost looked like to a degree he was dragging his knee, as he was running the routes. And I saw it, and I'm like, oh man, that does not look good. He looks slow. He looks like he's heavier. It does not look fluid. It looked like, who was, it looked Kelvin Benjamin-esque when he was out there trying to run. And that was a few days ago.
He's still about 80 pounds lighter than Kelvin Benjamin was.
Roughly.
He was trying to play receiver here.
Roughly. Kelvin Benjamin was always that cheeseburger away from tight end. Until he was a tight end. Yeah. Until he did eat that cheeseburger.
He was a cheeseburger from defensive end when he was in Kansas City.
That's true, too. But what you're saying, because I haven't seen videos since then of Rashee Rice, and that's all I can go off of with my eyes is if somebody posts a video. So you're saying, like, from a few days ago that even from that standpoint, you're seeing maybe that knee get worked out a little bit more and it's getting smoother and he's looking more fluid than when you first saw him there running routes, and it was he's laboring a little bit, and it looks like it's still got a little bit of ways to go before that knee looks fully healthy.
Yeah, and if it was the same film that I remember seeing, because I know some people were commenting about how he looks pretty stiff on that video, the one I saw was also from during install. When that's not 100% run. I mean, you're at that point. It's basically a dress rehearsal. You're learning the plays at that point, and guys generally aren't going 100%. I mean, they're just focusing on their route and focusing on being in the right place and learning the play. So there's a difference between like install speed and pad speed and everything. All these different segments of practice have different speeds. But I know. I mean, I think regardless. I mean, whatever you're judging him based at, let's say Monday to now.
Yeah.
No, I think he's a lot more fluid. He looks a lot quicker. Looks like just has knocked the rust off, so to speak.
Yeah, it was 6 days ago, so it was him running it was a post route on air is what he was running, and he looked pretty stiff. And then and as I'm looking through Twitter here, I see a couple of days ago of an actual play at training camp with Rashee Rice, and he looked better. So, that was 6 days ago that I saw the video that it was like, oh boy, to more recent. So that's certainly encouraging. But I know that was your number 2 storyline of something you were watching is Rashee Rice, because it's pretty vital. We also didn't know what Cyrus Allen would look like at training camp. And we also didn't know, Matt, that the Chiefs would be foolish enough to put a 5th-round draft pick wide receiver on special teams. Like, I can't believe.
You want me to talk about Mizzou's national championship, but we're going to talk about 5th-round draft picks on special teams.
I mean, it's maybe one of the dumbest decisions I've ever seen anybody make in the history of the world.
Yeah, I know. I cannot believe that we cannot go back and they made Ole Miss the
Minnesota, right?
Minnesota, whoever it was. It wasn't Missouri.
It was an M school.
Minnesota, right?
Yeah, it was Minnesota, Missouri, Mississippi.
They lost their bowl game, and they were number 1 because they didn't take a poll after the bowl games back then.
Yeah, well, whatever. By the way, Todd has let me know that while you are not around, Pete Sweeney has now ruled against you that the cookie brownie can be eaten today. He understood their cheat rules the same way Jesse did and not the way Matt did. So there you go.
I mean, I follow the rules. They're just denying themselves, and I find they're both.
Okay.
I mean, Jesse Newell does not acknowledge that the Tigers were national champions in 1960. He thinks that whole thing was legit.
Does Pete?
But then again, Jesse went to KU, so of course, he thinks everything's legit.
Well, I mean, Pete went to Syracuse, right? I mean,
he went to Syracuse, and he probably thinks everything's legit too. So
he sees everything through the number 44. So I don't think that counts either. Who's 44 on this Chiefs team? He just keeps rooting for him. Just keeps randomly bringing that person up. Who is number 44 on the Chiefs right now? Am I missing somebody completely
Cooper
obvious?
McDonald.
Yeah, is it Cooper McDonald's number 44?
Cooper McDonald right now.
So there you go. So that makes sense why Pete Sweeney, every single question that somebody asks him, he immediately brings it back to Cooper McDonald. Thought it was odd. They're like, hey, what are you seeing from Kenneth Walker? Well, what I saw from Kenneth Walker is he tried to cut back and ran right into Cooper McDonald. And that's a mistake. When you see number 44 out there, you need to go the other way. So everything comes back to the bias of where you went to school. That's for sure. Hey, today, Matt, Khalil Benson slid down into right guard because Trey Smith was out today with a hip in which they had him see a specialist. My heart sank when Andy Reid said that they sent him to see a specialist on his hip, but then he said, but it's all good. So we're good there. So that made me feel better. Unless that was Andy Reid going, oh, we're all good. We went to see a hip specialist, so we're all good. As in, like, do we know the answer to that yet? I'm not sure. But Trey Smith out, Khalil Benson at right guard. What did you see from Khalil Benson sliding down to right guard? And then I want to get into the conversation about what it may mean bigger picture. Trey Smith's out. They move Khalil Benson down. But what did you see from his maybe first time at camp running there in the interior next to Creed Humphrey?
Yeah, I mean, at first glance, I can't say that I thought it was there was anything wrong. I mean, it looked at what the limited that I could see, and and sometimes once again, I mean, in these practices, hey, sometimes offensive line, if we don't notice you, that's a good thing. And I feel like that was kind of a little bit with Benson. I mean, even when you got to see him in the one-on-ones, I thought he fared fairly well. I'll have some video of those and the highlights up at Chiefs Digest on YouTube later this afternoon, so you can check it out yourself and see how he and some of the other guys did. But I thought, and once again, we go back to what was the scouting report on Khalil Benson? I mean, one of the things was that he might be better suited to guard than to tackle. I don't think this is like a Wally Pipp kind of moment that Khalil Benson fills in for Trey Smith, and now he's right guard for the rest of our lives. But hey, could that end up being how this story ends? Is that maybe Jalen Moore ends up being the right tackle going into the season, and Khalil Benson is a bit of a utility guy who could play maybe all 4 positions, maybe go back to a Zach Fulton type guy. I mean, that's him. I mean, Cam Irving did the same thing. I mean, Chiefs have had a lot of success with some guys that just could play both guard spots and both tackle spots. They've got a couple of guys right now that they're happy at center with Norzad and Caliendo. I think they're still trying to figure out their depth at guard and what they like the best there, and they're pretty happy. They got a bunch of guys at tackle, so they got an excess of guys that they like at that spot. So if Benson transitions to become a guy going into the season that now is maybe he's your 6th guy and he can play 3 or 4 different positions, I don't think that would be their worst case scenario. I think they'd be pretty happy with that one. There's just so much more to go. I mean, we're still more than a month from the opening of the season. There's a lot to figure out. We need to see Khalil Benson in a game. And, and this raises the question. I mean, when we do see him in action and, in a game, are we going to see him at right tackle and right guard? That could be intriguing. There's a lot of options on the table, and even though Benson's been getting all of this work at right tackle, there's still no guarantee he's the starter in week 1. I mean, it could be Jalen Moore. I think it would probably take an injury for Seaboldt to get back into the argument, but in discussion. But I think he's definitely in the conversation to make the roster, though.
Yeah. So my read on the Khalil Benson moving to right guard, and it might be colored by the conversation that we had on the show on Wednesday about looking at the recent history of Andy Reid and offensive linemen and newcomers and camp battles and things like that. My read on it when I saw they moved Benson down to right guard, it solidified even a little bit more that I think he's probably the starting right tackle. That sounds counterintuitive, but the reason it solidified that for me is Andy talks about, like, there's two ways of looking at Andy Reid and Andy Heck's philosophy. You don't want to create another hole by trying to fill a hole that's out. But they also talk about, we just put the best 5 offensive linemen out there. So if Khalil Benson, they believe, is one of the best 5 offensive linemen, and their 6th best is Jalen Moore, so if Trey Smith's out, then Benson slides down to guard and Jalen Moore comes in, so they have their best 5 offensive linemen out there. Trey Smith is back. Jalen Moore slides out. Benson slides out to right tackle and then plays that. Is there anything to that, or is this maybe more of, they do want to see him play at guard? They want to see, like you talked about. Is there anything to that theory that, hey, our best 5 in training camp, we're going to put him out there. Trey Smith's out. Let's put Benson in there because we want to see if we have to go Jalen Moore at right tackle, can Benson play right guard instead of bringing in, let's be honest, Caliendo or Norzad or something like that?
Yeah, I think that's a logical argument that you make, and I would support that by saying that, hey, remember one, I mean, this competition that you really have, it's between Jalen Moore and Khalil Benson. I mean, that's the battle there, is which one do you think is better? I think there's even a side part of the conversation, which is that if you consider them both equal and you consider that position a tie, well, in this case, it might be a little counterintuitive, but I think in that case, you are going to go with the guy who is less specialized. I mean, in that case, it would be Khalil Benson. That would be the guy you'd say, okay, this guy's primarily played right tackle his entire career, not really ever played guard. Maybe he can do it, but that's not what he's ready to do. Put him at right tackle because Jalen Moore can play anywhere. He can play on the left side as well. Yeah, so he's the guy that has experience coming off the bench in his career. I mean, those are the roles for which they are both best suited. Because, like you said, I mean, if Khalil Benson's your 6th guy, still a pretty good chance that if he comes in, even if it's at right tackle, I mean, you might be moving some guys around. So, I'm with you there. I mean, I think that I think it's going to come down to just, frankly, who flat out wins that job. But like I said, if it's a tie might go to Benson. Yeah,
the reason I'm using like the recent past with Andy Reid is 3 different years of training camp, quote unquote, battles or guys moving, and we saw early on in 2021 we didn't know what Trey Smith or Kyle Long, and there was an injury to Kyle Long, but after the first practice, I think Trey Smith then got put in at right guard, and that was it. And he's been the right guard for the Chiefs ever since then. In 2024, it was Kingsley and Wanya, which looking back is probably a pretty ominous sign of who was going to be the left tackle that year. But, Matt, when the pads came on, it was Kingsley was running with the ones. Once the pads came on, so before pads, it was Kingsley, Wanya, Kingsley, Wanya, Kingsley, Wanya. Pads came on, Kingsley's first team left tackle. And then last year, it was Simmons left tackle, and then Kingsley left guard, and it was pretty much that was it. Once they moved on from Tooney, it was Kingsley left guard. And so we haven't seen Andy Reid, Matt, at the offensive line, put somebody in with the ones to, quote-unquote, let's just see what he looks like. They put guys on the ones and pads because that's who they think their starting offensive line is.
Yeah, and there's another kind of piece of this puzzle, and I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I go back to Darian Kennard, and this was a guy coming out of Kentucky that, I mean, hey, he was like the SEC blocker of the year.
Traded up for him.
Looked like traded up for him in the fourth round, and I think or fifth round, and a lot of upside, and seemed like it. But he was also a tackle that most NFL scouts thought was better suited to guard, and that's what the Chiefs wanted to do. They wanted to move him to guard. He didn't want to play guard. I mean, he wanted to play tackle. And I think that kind of that move never really meshed together because of the Chiefs never really gave him a chance to, compete for that tackle spot. I wonder if, in this case, maybe they only invited him to rookie minicamp for crying out loud. I mean, maybe they were like, okay, hey, this kid wants to play right tackle. We're going to put him in right tackle. It's rookie minicamp. It doesn't matter. And then they see it, and they're like, okay, well, you know what? He played pretty well. So, hey, he wants to play right tackle. Let's give him the chance. Let's give him the chance, kind of like you did with Kingsley at left tackle. Give him the chance to succeed. If he fails, then maybe the conversion to right guard or left guard, whatever it may be, just guard in general, is an easier transition because you've given him the chance to win a tackle spot. Maybe he doesn't, and now he is more accepting of going to guard. I mean, that could have been the plan, and it's just blown up in everybody's face because he's been pretty good at tackle. I mean, maybe that's still how this story ends. I don't know, but I think the bottom line is that this kid's a lot better than any, I think, of the NFL scouts and front offices gave him credit for. And I still don't know how badly they missed.
Yeah.
But, again, I mean, we're also, at this point, and maybe he's going to take a couple more leaps. Let's put some breaks and, give the kid a break.
Yeah.
He's not all pro. I mean, he's not Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith. He's not those guys. Because even Trey Smith, when he was running with the twos, it was like, Kyle Long, it's been nice knowing you, but even if he hadn't gotten hurt, Trey Smith was taking that job.
Only a matter of time.
Training camp.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. I'm with you. And also should point out last year when they got Josh Simmons, we wondered if there would be a camp battle between he and Jalen Moore. But day one, it was Josh Simmons at left tackle. There's a last little point on this, and then we'll break and talk about something else. You talked about Ty going to maybe the less specialized or more specialized player. Let me ask you this, because I would look at it almost and say, well, Ty would go to the undrafted free agent guy that would be here a number of years rather than the guy that's on a one-year contract. And as you said, have played different positions, but is going to be gone at the end of the year. Hey, all things equal, let's go with this guy because we think they're both the same. Only now this guy, this full season playing, we feel good going into the offseason of what we have. Let's say that might be the case. How close or how far apart would it need to be for Andy Reid and Andy Heck to say, we're going to go with Benson? Let's say it's not equal. Would it be using just generic point system? If Jalen Moore was a 6, could Benson be a 5 and they would go with Benson? Or does it have to be a 5.5? Could it be a 4 and they say, no, he'll develop into a 6 because we think Jalen Moore is this guy and that's all he's going to be? Or no, it's got to be at least tied because even if it's a half point better, they're going to go with the half point better no matter the experience or the contract.
That's a great question, and I'm not sure how close it would have to be. I mean, I think that, part of it again, goes back to, obviously you made the argument that, hey, Andy Reid and Andy Heck always say they want to start the best 5. So, hey, if one guy's a 6 and the other guy's a 5, then you'd probably say let's go with the guy who's a 6.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you also don't know and haven't seen what, and maybe you can find this out, and maybe you'll see it in the preseason. Although again, I'm guessing that Khalil Benson, if and when he plays, he's going to be a starter. So you're not going to really get to see him come off the bench and see what he's like. You've seen that with Jalen Moore. He's done that in his career. He's able and he's capable for it. Some guys can't do that, and and you got to be ready for it. It's an adjustment, to be able a guy that can just go from being cold on the bench to coming out and being in a game. We've seen some guys do it and they just get clobbered. Everybody's a little bit different, but Jalen has done that and had experience with it. So I don't know how close it would have to be. And honestly, right now, it sounds like that. If you're asking the coaches, Right now, I mean, they may most be a 6. I mean, that's just how close it is.
Matt Derrick's our guest. Chiefs Digest 41 is the mic. We'll take a timeout, come back, continue rolling with Matt. More right after this, and maybe it gives him a little time to go and make another argument, state his case for the cookie brownie. More Zone coming up next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy. We'll talk with Matt Derrick. Chiefs Digest 41 is the Mike podcast. Joining us here from St. Joe. They're at Chiefs training camp next Saturday, first preseason game. Matt, I wanted to talk to you about the running back position, and not necessarily Kenneth Walker, which we can get into here in just a little bit with the contract and the 3 contract extensions that were signed this week, and sort of looking at what that may mean for Kenneth Walker, what it means for Kenneth Walker in the contract the Chiefs signed. But at running back position, we were going to go through. We sort of ran out of time in the first hour, or we just didn't get around to it. Whatever way you want to go about it. We were going to go through our players that we thought maybe we're higher on or lower on than what we thought pre-camp. And one of the players that I was going to look at and say might be a little bit lower on was Emmett Johnson, and it's mainly because I haven't seen much from him, and he's running with the 4s. And there's a lot of Brashard Smith, it feels like, ahead of him. And today Andy Reid talked about, Brashard Smith and the pass protection, and that's going to be a big part. They know he can run it. They know he can catch it, but they want to put him in position to continue to get better at pass pro, and he's got to get reps, and he's doing a nice job where it feels like Brashard Smith is getting those reps. If it was Emmett Johnson, I feel like wouldn't he be the one that they're trying to get as many reps as possible? You're out there watching. What are you seeing from what is probably the battle between the 3rd and 4th running back right now?
Yeah, and I'm not sure there's really any battle by and large at running back. I mean, I think there's going to be 4 running backs on this team, and so I think those 4 slots are pretty much nailed up. I mean, I'm not sure that there's anybody that can crack it. Jaden Ott and E.J. Smith would be the next guys and up, and I mean, again, I think you'd have to have an injury or something that have to really change in the return game for those guys to kind of factor in. But, I mean, hey, honestly, I think it speaks to the depth of this running back room that Emmett Johnson is in that kind of position where you're thinking of him as the number 4 guy behind Kenneth Walker. I think eventually we'll consider Emari Demercado the number 2 running back, Brashard 3, and Johnson 4. And in that kind of rotation, I mean, there's most weeks, I mean, going into it, if everybody's healthy, hey, Emmett Johnson's probably going to be an inactive guy. I mean, they'll probably go with 3 backs, and Walker obviously will be your primary guy. Demercado and Smith will both back him up. Demercado is going to be the pass protector and probably the 3rd down specialist. Doesn't mean you can't. They like Walker in that spot too, so he may not be a guy that you always take off the field on 3rd down. And Brashard's going to be, again, kind of a gadget guy. He's going to be a special teams guy. So I think that position may just be already nailed down about what these guys are. And again, if Emmett Johnson plays a big role this year, it's probably because somebody in front of him got hurt. And that's no knock on him, because I think he's actually looked good. The coaches are speaking well of him. It's just, I mean, here he is. Think about this, Jason. He's the 4th running back on this team. I think he would have been the best running back on the team last year.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I do wonder though, like Kenneth Walker, Emari Demercado, Brashard Smith, and Emmett Johnson. We know that the Chiefs do not run quarterback sneaks with Patrick Mahomes. They don't run it with Patrick Mahomes. Maybe they'll run it with Justin Fields, I'm not sure. But they were better at the tush push with Kareem Hunt running the short yardage situations. If they continue to go the route of we do not do quarterback sneaks, I mean, there's no way you could expect them to be as successful as Kareem Hunt was, because it was a gift, a talent to find and slither and see where that hole was and get through there. I don't know who's the guy. Kenneth Walker that doesn't do it. Demercado, who's smaller, or Brashard Smith and Emmett Johnson, who are smaller, and one of those guys is a rookie. The other guy is a second-year player that really didn't play all that much. How do you think they go about their 3rd and short, 4th and short, if we know you're going to eliminate the quarterback sneak, if number 15's on the field?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is going to look probably a lot like it did last year. I mean, because the Chiefs kind of began to transition of going to maybe a jumbo heavier line. And honestly, I mean, that's where, Kareem had a lot of his most success. It was behind some, six offensive lines, six-man offensive lines out there where you're bringing in offensive lineman as a tackle eligible. You can throw out of that formation too. Chiefs aren't afraid to do that. They can run the ball. I think they dipped their toe in it last year, and I think they're going to do a lot more of it this year, especially in short yardage situations. You might even see it in some other spots. Who knows? But it certainly seems like they're probably still experimenting about who is their best short yardage back. I would say in almost any scenario that you've got, Kenneth Walker is probably their best back. Whether it's pass pro, whether it's as a receiver. I mean, DeMarcado's good at both those things too. But even short yardage, Walker's probably their best. He can slither too. And again, this offensive line, especially when you put a sixth one of them out there, I mean, they can maul. They can do that. They can create those little tiny holes, and that's why you've paid them the big bucks and you're drafting them early. So I don't think they're going to miss a whole lot in the short yardage game. And if anything, I mean, I think that they may be able to expand on that because I think they can expand their passing options out of that formation.
Yeah, true. And the thing with Kareem Hunt in the game, he was pretty confident he was going to pick up a first down. That was it. You needed a yard. He's going to get you a yard and a half. It's not going to be, wow, there was a yard and a half there, and how did he break it into 20? But there is something to be said for in your back pocket, you just go and give it to Kareem Hunt, and he will find a way to get through there and pick up the first down. We'll see how that works this year. Matt Derrick is our guest. You talk about paying the big bucks. They bring in Kenneth Walker, 3 years, $43 million, 28.7 guaranteed. The guaranteed are the dollars, devil in the details, all of that stuff, not necessarily the overall contract value. It's essentially for Kenneth Walker, $9.6 million guaranteed per year for Kenneth Walker. We see Bijan Robinson, 3 years, 66.7. Jonathan Taylor, 2 years, 44. Jahmyr Gibbs, 3 years, 67.5. So you're looking at $8 million more per year on an annual average basis for Gibbs, Taylor, and Bijan, and about $8 million guaranteed per year for Bijan, Taylor, and Gibbs. Did Kenneth Walker become more affordable? Is that then the price of doing business because of what Kenneth Walker offers? And if he's making this, then the percentage increase from the $14 million to the $22 is worth it for the Bijans and the Jahmyr Gibbs for what they do above what you're getting from Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely seeing the market kind of change here, and we'll see if that remains because it could end up being that some of these free agent deals end up being bad deals because maybe these guys get hurt, and all of a sudden you're paying a lot of money to guys that you're not using and aren't helping you. But the market for running backs is changing, and I mean, there's been some argument from some places that, hey, maybe the Chiefs missed their market because maybe they should have been looking for a running back out there in free agency last year before the prices kind of started going up, and maybe there was a better pool. But again, you kind of alluded to there, you look at Kenneth Walker's deal now, and I mean, that certainly looked like a bargain.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think we talked about this a few months ago. Like, hey, if the market continues to go, and especially with some of the free agents that are going to be hitting the market soon, and these guys like Gibbs and Bijan Robinson are there right now. We may be saying, okay, well, hey, this Kenneth Walker deal, hey, 2 years from now, he might be the 14th highest paid running back in the league. I mean, that's just where it's going. So. Time will tell. I mean, whether this ends up being a good deal for the Chiefs or not, it's going to be I mean, I've said it before. I mean, I think the Chiefs signed Kenneth Walker to help them win a Super Bowl. If they win a Super Bowl, it doesn't matter how much they paid him. It was a good deal. If they don't, then they misjudged it. They misjudged the market. And they made a mistake. But I mean, the way that the running back market is hitting right now, though, to me, it emphasizes and underscores that you probably need to be taking shots at running back every year to see if you can find your guy, because what you would love to have is a 1,500 yard guy that you're paying dirt cheap for 4 years. You don't want to be paying a guy that's going to get you 1,400 yards, but you're paying him $25 million per.
Yeah, and if you're looking at taking a chance on it or bringing somebody in or drafting that, not necessarily saying do that in the first round because you're not seeing the value. For instance, like the total value of the contract Jeremiah Love is now the 4th highest paid running back in the league. Guaranteed at signing, Jeremiah Love is the most in the league. Practical guarantees, Jeremiah Love is the most in the league. Now that's a 4-year deal versus the 3-year deal. Annual average salary, Jeremiah Love is 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. He's the 10th highest paid running back in annual average value, and he hasn't carried the ball yet. Whereas if we look at Jordan Tyson and Carnell Tate, they're much further down in the list of wide receivers. So to me, it's like it continues to emphasize that even with these contracts, the running back still is something I'd take later on, because if I have to sign a running back in free agency that I think could be a premier running back, I'm getting that money for roughly what the top draft pick would be anyway, versus if I'm paying for a premier wide receiver out there, I'm paying a lot more than what a top 10 pick wide receiver would be. So at that point, look running back, bring some in, but first round, go and find the gap from top free agent to top 10 pick, and you're seeing that with wide receiver and corner and things like that, and still not at running back, because top free agent and number 3, number 4 overall pick, roughly the same amount of money that they're getting. So, from that standpoint. And I also wonder, Matt, if Bijan, Jonathan Taylor, and Jahmyr Gibbs, if everything that just happened August 5th, 6th, 7th of 2025, I don't think Kenneth Walker is getting 3 years, $43 million.
No.
He's not getting 22, but he might be getting 18, per year.
No, I think he would be getting more. And, I think the numbers are starting to change a little bit, and the logic is starting to change a little bit, where, I wouldn't hate taking a running back in the first round, but again, I would say that probably needs to be the last piece. I mean, it needs to be, because you think that this guy is what separates you from a Super Bowl. A running back on a 2-15 team is not normally going to make a difference.
You mean like Genty?
I was going to say how
and
Genty went from 4th and then they drafted it first this year.
That didn't make the difference.
Example. Yes. Because and honestly, it's also becoming to the point where if running back is worth taking in the first round, that they're probably going to hit. It's starting to become more and more that you don't take a running back in the first round that you never hear from them again.
Yeah. Matt Derrick is our guest. Let's take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll talk about what Andy Reid said about preseason for Patrick Mahomes. If that is what the headlines at NFL Network is putting up there right now in the scroll. Is that what Andy Reid actually said? We'll talk about what we heard from Andy Reid and a couple of other things as extended practice today, the dreaded long drive drill going on today. We'll talk with Matt Derrick before his drive back to his home from St. Joe. More Zone next. Matt Derrick is with us. Sports Radio 810 WHB on a Friday, heading up until 2 o'clock. Actual football was played last night, Matt Derrick, and we all had our fun and games and jokes about what it would be in the Hall of Fame game, and then they went out there and played an entertaining game out of nowhere. That was fun. Carson Beck, third rounder, looking like, you know what it is? It's good that Carson Beck played his first ever NFL game there because in 20 years, he'll be there wearing the gold jacket. So it's just going to all come full circle for him. Patrick Mahomes.
Along with Haynes King. He'll be there first.
Yeah, that's true. Haynes King.
That was a tight way to end the game with him. Sweet. I mean, that's got to be such a fun feeling for a dude like that.
Is he third string?
He's fighting with Fruit of the Loom Queen.
Who's that?
Haynes King is fighting with the Fruit of the Loom Queen. But they're close. Yes. Depends on what you're into. So Andy Reid, Matt, said there's a good chance we don't play him, talking about Patrick Mahomes in preseason game number 1. Said the percentage is leading against that game number 1. Said, I don't know about second or third team. NFL Network scroll on the bottom line says Mahomes expected to sit out preseason. Not preseason game number 1, just sit out preseason. So is that what you heard from Andy Reid, that probably going to miss the entire preseason, or don't count him for game number 1? And he said, I don't know about second or third game. We'll find out down the road. It's been the debate of whether or not Patrick Mahomes will take a snap in the preseason. Pretty positive it won't be next Saturday, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive on that one, too. And, I mean, I'm reasonably positive that he's not going to play in the preseason because it certainly seems like everybody in the organization feels that way. And the only person I don't know about really is Patrick. And I've always felt, even since the beginning of camp when he spoke on that first day and everything, that I think everybody's going to be, saying the, hey, let's wait and see card. And I think the Chiefs are going to, like I said, I think the team itself is going to be wanting to protect him and not wanting to get out there in the preseason. But as the games get closer, I feel like Patrick may, campaign to try and get out there and get a drive in. I still think it's highly unlikely. I mean, I can't say won't for sure. I mean, I think that's a little too definitive at this point. I mean, things can happen, but it's certainly, I mean, I think that right now, I mean, the consensus would be, and that Patrick may not be the only one. I mean, there may be some other starters that maybe would play in most seasons that maybe the Chiefs will keep out this year. They seem, attitude-wise, I hear from talking to people is that they may play it not quite as dramatically as some teams do, but they may jump into the trend of sitting out a few more starters than they normally do.
My theory here, Matt, is to satisfy everybody here. August 28th at Arrowhead, the Seahawks coming into town. Patrick Mahomes he says he's a competitor. He wants to play. So Andy relents. Patrick, you're playing. Runs out there with the first team. Handoff. Come off the field, shake his hand. Nice job, Patrick. Well done. Hey, I let you play. You wanted to play, I let you play. You don't get to be offensive coordinator, too. So,
Liz.
That's yellow. No. That's not what I called, Patrick.
It's going to be funny when they get like 2 holding calls and it's 3rd and 25. Handoff.
Yes.
Actually, draw play probably would be their normal play anyway.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's like Patrick's going to change the play to an option. Not an option route, an option quarterback.
Back down the line at the deep unblocked defensive end.
That's right. That's my theory, Matt, is that Andy will marry the two of satisfy Patrick Mahomes and his competitive to get out there before Monday Night Football, but also, I'm not putting him in danger. He don't need to be out there throwing the ball.
I aim to satisfy absolutely no one, Jason. So I say first half of that game on the 28th against Seattle, first half is all Justin Fields. Second half, all Chris Oladokun. You don't see Mahomes or Nussmeier because you got to hide Nussmeier
because of the competition between Mahomes and Nussmeier to who starts against Denver.
Just got to hide him. You got to keep that option open if you need to try and sneak him through waivers.
Nussbus
can't be showing him off.
As somebody who works for and directs the sports at the station that's airing all the Chiefs preseason games, I am here to report that Mahomes will play in all of them. Even if he doesn't start, you need to wait around.
Right.
He will come in at any point.
Yeah, the fourth quarter next Saturday, I can't guarantee he won't be playing in the fourth quarter next Saturday.
I can't guarantee
we
it
won't know until he's out there. or not
Last
out
night
there.
was a great example of why you can't skip the fourth quarter of any preseason game.
See?
Especially if you would like to wager on it.
And if you want a guarantee, I can give you a guarantee.
What can you do in a box?
I can slap that on a box.
Interesting. That's what I thought last night would be, poop in a box game. But I was watching it just because it was NFL football, and I'm like, sometimes video can be deceiving in training camp, Matt, and then sometimes it can be, all right, this maybe has some legs to it. The last week and a half, all the video coming out of Arizona is like, boy, Carson Beck is throwing the pill. Like, Carson Beck looks really good. Maybe Brissett isn't the starting quarterback here. It might be Carson Beck. And so we heard people saying that. It's like, okay, we'll see. Then he goes and looks like that last night, and you don't ever want to get ahead of yourself, but at least preseason game number 1 looked like what training camp and practices have looked like for him. So that's at least something to have a data point, just to, as an aside, and something to file away and keep track of. Just like this guy is having an awesome quarterback training camp, and then it translated into game number 1. A lot of play action, a lot of bootleg, a lot of moving the pocket. Not really game planning for him. Things like that. We'll see. Matt Derrick is our guest. Matt, is there a player that before training camp started versus now that you're higher on? I don't want to do the lower on the negative stuff. We've talked about some of those things and injuries. But is there a player that you've watched over the last week and a half, whatever it might be, that you have a little bit more optimism or you're higher on whether a bigger impact on the team or maybe even making the team?
Good question. I mean, long-term impact, I am going to say that, our Mason Thomas is winning me over. I still have questions about his size and how the Chiefs are going to use him and everything, but I say longer term because I think he may very well be an effective piece for this team going forward. But I can see him just develop because I think he's going to get bigger. Seems like he understands he needs to get stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So if he applies himself to that, and the dude's just 21. I mean, he's got a lot of runway to grow up and mature and everything like that. I have modest expectations for year 1. I'm going to for most rookies, but that dude, I'm falling for him. I mean, he's definitely becoming a camp darling to me. He looks good, but most importantly, he just talks a good game, and I'm convinced in him. I mean, there's nobody whose stock has risen higher than Khalil Benson. I don't know if he's going to end up winning that right tackle job, but, considering that even when camp began, I didn't know, is this for real? I mean, are the Chiefs just, having some fun here or anything like that, or is this guy for real? But guy could end up being the starter in week 1. And I mean, that's just freaking crazy. I mean, no combine. Nobody paid attention to him at his pro day. Get the mini camp invite. I mean, it's unreal. I mean, this would be a better movie than Rudy because, I mean, to this point, Khalil Benson has not committed any financial fraud.
Now I'm imagining like the offense.
You guys have been offsides yet either.
I'm imagining like Caliendo and Norzad and Trey Smith and Creed walking into Andy Reid's office. I want Khalil to dress for me, coach. I want Khalil to dress for me, coach. And Jalen Moore's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm actually going to start. Oh, you guys went and turned in your jersey? Oh, no, I'm good. I'm ready to start at right tackle, coach, of Khalil Benson, Josh Simmons. I want Khalil to start for me, coach. Just get that scene in there, and Khalil Benson is in there on field goal, and it's a penalty on the defense, and so they get an automatic first down, and Benson's like, what do I do? Stay in! And he stays out there to play offensive line. That's what I'm imagining.
It's still one of my favorite stories of all time, Jason, but Dan Devine was the athletic director at Mizzou when I was in college when that movie came out, and he was asked about his portrayal in the movie. And the line that I still love was, and in his refuting that scene took place, said, if a player of mine ever gave me his jersey, he wasn't getting it back.
That's the truth. And then that's when you said, to hell with Devine. I mean, why did he try to screw over the clear? It was a clear deal made with Era. And Dan Devine just came in there. I mean, it's just also.
Did he talk about, was there a maintenance guy that started a slow clap in the tunnel?
Oh, I mean, that had to be real.
That had to be true.
Who's the wild man now? Wait till I make all the Avengers movies.
You lost.
Yeah,
me
I
on
don't.
that
I
one.
don't know. Yeah.
Jeremy Favreau.
Yeah.
Favreau
that's
played that.
right, he was in
That's
that.
Favreau.
That's
Who's
right.
the wild man now? All right, so there we go.
John Favreau.
Yep,
Yeah.
we got all of that figured out for our segment with Matt Derrick. We did it, everybody. We did it. Peter Woods looks pretty good too. So both their second and third pick in the draft look pretty good. I'll tell you what, that new quarterback they got wearing number 5. I'm excited to see what he can do running around there with the ball in his hands. It's quarterback, right? That's what the yellow jersey signifies, quarterback, and he's wearing a yellow jersey every day. I'm assuming quarterback.
Yeah, I was doing my roll call today, and I realized I think I checked him off twice. I checked him off as 5 and 15. So.
Yeah, no, that's like to see him more when he's out there playing. So, Matt, you're the man. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you for hanging out with us. Sorry there's no cookie brownie for you today, but at least you got to enjoy the s'mores, whatever that was a couple of days ago. Safe travels back. We'll talk next week leading into, it's an off day next Friday, getting ready for preseason game number 1 against the Rams. So thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
I know. You're going to have to see me in person next Friday.
Oh, I may take that day off.
Yeah.
You guys good to fill in on the 14th, everybody? The 14th is typically, August 14th every year I try to take off. It's a very special day for me.
I'm out. I've got to wash Sterling's hair.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we'll
Makes
be
sense.
busy.
Yeah,
we'll be busy.
man,
It's
we're
a
all-
long process.
Michael, you pumped about being in here?
I'm out.
Unloved.
Oh, Michael's out too.
I'm actually out.
Totally unloved.
Oh, Michael actually is out that day.
Doubtful.
Yeah. Matt, you're the man. We love you, and we'll see you next Friday, and maybe I'll bring you a cookie brownie.
Oh, there you go.
That's not at
Great,
camp.
my
It
guy.
doesn't count.
Take care.
If it's on the show, it doesn't count. It's not at camp. So there you go.
Exactly. 100%.
Yes. You're the man. There's Matt Derrick, everybody. Chiefs Digest 41 is the mic. He said he's going to post on Chiefs Digest some of the video that he took today, so I'm looking forward to that, of some of those players. And he got outvoted 2-1 by Jesse Newell and Pete Sweeney, that he was not allowed to have the cookie brownie, that the exemption on the dessert got moved to the s'mores the other day, and it was not a s'mores exemption while also keeping the cookie brownie exemption. That's, everybody's got to read the fine print on those contracts. We'll take a time out. We'll come back. Got I think a fun story locally that got some national attention from a couple of Olympic stars that now live in the area. We'll do that coming up next. Mick Schaefer hanging out with us. It's a Friday. We got the cuts before the show is over. More Zone next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. 1 more hour to go on a Friday, heading up until 2 o'clock. Background claps from Mick and Sterling.
Mick was just really getting after it.
He was enjoying himself, man. It's a Friday.
Back-to-back segments of clapping.
Getting ready to go tee off today?
Yes, I've got 2 tee times today. I've already had a golf fitting, too. So it's been a big golfing Friday.
Big golf day, and you snuck in a little time with us here today.
Snuck it in.
Very nice.
I tee timed you guys up.
I get it. We teed that one up for you. So Mick's hanging out with us right now. Appreciate Matt Derrick, but right now, want to bring on somebody that the story came out a couple of days ago, and if people did not see this, so Tara Davis Woodall, the Olympic gold medalist in the long jump, and her husband Hunter Woodall, who's the Olympic gold medalist in the paraplegic games, they both gold medalists. The sort of first couple of U.S. track and field. They now live in Manhattan, Kansas. She is the assistant track coach at Manhattan at K-State. She lost her rings, and they had to go about finding it. So local man Ed Rogers, who we have on the phone with us right now, the story started getting national fame and national acclaim with Tara Davis Woodall, who's got a huge following on Instagram and everything, and they talk about their day and all that stuff, and they posted this video of them finding the ring, and Ed Rogers is with us right now. Ed, welcome into the show. How are you?
Hey, thank you so much, Jason. I'm doing great, and I always wanted to come on the air and talk about a Missouri national championship. So I'm glad you gave me the opportunity.
That's right. So a 1960.
Did he find that ring?
Did you find
one of the rings?
Did you find the 60 national championship?
I'm still looking for it. Right?
That is awesome. So what do you do? How do you end up being the person that's there? Is this your day job?
Yeah.
Is finding the medal?
Right. Good question. Thank you so much. So there's an organization called the Ring Finders, and I'm involved with the organization, and I'm the local Kansas City guy for this is my territory. So the Woodhalls did something like this. They typed in their browser, how do I find my lost ring in Kansas, or how do I find my gold ring, or something like that, and my name comes up. So, and you can test me on this. You can type it in your browser, how do I find my lost wedding ring in Kansas City, and my name will come right up. So anyway, they did something like that, contacted me, and a couple hours later, I was out there in their backyard trying to find it.
So did you have any idea, any clue that when you went out there or recognize them that this was Tara Davis Woodall and Hunter Woodall, the sort of the first couple of U.S. Olympic track and field?
I did not, and I suppose that's a charming part of the story, but no, I get calls like this on a regular basis, and I did realize that, I was going to have to be traveling a little further than I normally go. So we discussed things about, me getting out there, the timing, et cetera. And when he described the farm it was out in Wamego, and he described the circumstances, I thought I was going to a horse farm or something along those lines. And so I pull up there, and it's this massive compound, and I just was like floored, right? Well, I have a YouTube channel, and I was actually filming it. And another strange thing that happened, that I was greeted at the door. These big, massive doors come open, and there was a perfectly great-looking young man right in front of me, but he was a paraplegic. It just kind of took me by surprise. I just really didn't know what, the whole thing was kind of surreal. And then I walk in, and there's 10 or 15 people at a party there. There's a whole bunch of people, which is not normal for me at all on ring finding. And then we finally get to the place where I'm talking to what now I know is his wife and this famous person about how she lost it and that kind of thing. So once everything was over and I was headed back, I thought on the drive back, I thought, I need to Google this up. I don't do that, I don't date anybody or whatever, I just don't look for people like that. But anyway, so I got home, and I told my wife, sweetheart, this guy that called me, he's actually a famous athlete. And then she looked it up and all that, and she said, well, my gosh, his wife is a gold medalist, right? And so the story just kind of took off from there. It was really a cool deal.
So I didn't know, so you've got your YouTube channel, and you post these things on there.
Yes.
When you showed up, were you videoing or were they videoing for their Instagram because they're very big and all these millions of followers and everything? So how did it come out to where this thing ended up getting recorded so people have seen the mission for you to find it, the party that was there, and then her reaction of jumping up and down and running and jumping in the pool, which is with the ring on? I thought maybe don't do that, you might lose it again.
Right, exactly. Well, it all happened completely organically, but there were two things going on at the same time. First of all, I do have a YouTube channel, and I find all kinds of stuff. Pardon me. I find all kinds of stuff besides rings. So that's a part of what I do. I love it. It's treasure hunting, and it's a whole lot of fun. But as a part of what I do this this ring finding. But whenever I have my detector in my hand, I'm going to have my camera on and filming as well, because you never know what you're going to find, that kind of thing. And I even introduce myself that way to Hunter, to say, hey, I've got this YouTube channel. I gave him my card. I let him know that I was going to be filming the whole thing. And he was, not only was he completely cool with that, but he actually sent me the footage that his guy took. Now, remember, I just think it's just one of his friends with his phone, recording the thing. And that's literally what is happening. There was a phone recording it. But he even sent me the footage, so I was able to splice both of them together and put it on my own on my own YouTube video. And I want you to go to my channel, Hi-Ho Silva, HIHOSILVA, right on YouTube, and you can see that video, the full-length video, not the short one from on Instagram. Thanks.
Yeah, no, they cut that up, and so it was, a shorter video. And as I'm looking here, like that video on their channel has over 2 million views already. Now they have over 1 million followers on Instagram, so that's pretty cool. But Hi-Ho Silva on YouTube. Did they have the party for you to be there so they would find it, or was it just random? That was the time you were available, and they were also happened to have a party with a bunch of people over.
Yeah, I can't tell you the exact events, but I got the call from Hunter about 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday. So I didn't even make it out to his place until, I kind of dropped everything and went out there. I got out there maybe 5 o'clock. And as he's opening the door and we're walking through the house so we can get to the area where they lost the rings, he said, we're having a going away party for someone. So it was just how it all happened, like in happenstance that way. And it's so rare for me to try to find someone's ring with an audience right there and two people filming it. So I could see why people would think it was staged, but it's simply not the case. It was 100% organic.
How long did it take you to when you first started and said, okay, now I'm going to start to find both of them?
Right. So once she described what happened, she actually had 3 rings on one finger and was doing a throwing motion, and all 3 of the rings came off. They were able to find one of them just by looking in the grass, but they could not find the other 2. So the first one was within a few feet of where they found the ring, so I found that in about 5 minutes. The other one was much heavier, and it traveled a lot farther, so it took me about another 20, 25 minutes to find that one.
How about that? And then the reaction from her, it's great. The video's out there, and then, you can see who we're talking about with Tara Davis-Woodall. She's the Olympic gold medalist in the long jump, and, was a great story at the time because when she won that and, the hugging and the celebration with her husband, and then we see that, he goes and wins the paraplegic gold medal, and that was really cool. And now they live in Manhattan, and it's a fun video to see, and it was really cool that happened like local, and of course it's local man here in Overland Park in Kansas City that is the one that finds those rings. Very, very cool. Have you had any? I don't know if there's attorney-client privilege, but have you had any other finding things for? Wow, this person's pretty famous. Like, oh wow, Mahomes needed something. Honey, I went over to this quarterback's house. Apparently, he's pretty good for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I actually don't have any names that I can drop there. The guy who got me involved with this found John Cryer's ring of 2.5 Men.
Yeah.
But no, I don't have anybody famous, but I do have that website, that ringfinders.com. I had my own specific page there, and I have in 2 years 32 recoveries.
Nice.
32 successful recoveries. So a lot of people are out there, just they lose their ring and they don't know exactly what to do. I just want to encourage you. There is there is a place to go, and I'm glad to try to help you out. You can contact me through that Ring Finders. Another aspect is if you lost a ring 10 years ago or 20 years ago. I had a coworker that mentioned he lost his class ring. I literally was able to find it in about 10 minutes. So if you have something out there, just hit me on Ring Finders or hit me on YouTube, and I promise to try to help you.
That is awesome. Ed, thank you so much for taking some time out and hanging out with us with this really cool story.
Hey, can I shout out to my grandsons?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Hey, Brooks, Cooper, Reed, Callan, Casey, I love you guys. You all made top 5. And hey, by the way, Reedy is on Coach Sherman's Team Freedom team.
Oh, no kidding.
I'm a very proud grandpa.
That's awesome. Yeah, we played against the Maniacs. Pretty good player there with your grandson for sure.
Thank you,
Ed. Thank you so much for joining us and hanging out. I enjoyed it.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for what you guys do.
Absolutely. There's Ed Rogers. Great stuff. The video's out there, and I mean, I learned one about the video. But then learning that the Woodalls live here really pretty much in our backyard, that, she's from Florida. He went, or she went to, one of them went to Syracuse. Either way, they're now for the U.S. Olympics, but they live in our backyard. It's pretty cool. But
I wonder if, and he was just on the phone, I probably should have asked him.
Nope, too late. Sorry. You don't get a chance.
Can he find AirPods in the ground? I lose my AirPods mowing once a month.
You don't have like the sound.
Do you
that
just buy
plays?
new ones, or
that doesn't work? No, I find them eventually, but that doesn't work that great. One time, I apparently, because I'll hit branches or whatever, and you start sweating. Those don't stay in your ears. Very often, and apparently one time fell out, and I stepped on it or something and buried it in the mud.
Oh wow!
And it took all weekend to find.
But you
I
did
remember
find
that
it, though.
story. I think that was.
I came in like I'm like, I've lost it. There's no way. Then I went back and eventually.
I forgot. I forgot that story.
How do you?
It's funny. I thought that happened to me. Then I realized no, that didn't happen to me. That was you because you told that story.
How about that? So they're like, oh, dude, I got this story that. Let me tell you the story about this. Yeah,
I was
told you that
when I lost it in mud.
At least with my 49-year-old ears, whenever they play The Ring, I'm like, well, that's clearly in the bedroom, or the basement, or the middle floor kitchen. One of those 3 areas that are
I'm just like
completely
I have tinnitus.
Nowhere near each other.
All I can hear is like it is tinnitus at that point.
Yeah. I mean, why is it those sounds are always sound like they're coming from a different room?
Yeah, it should be like Three Amigos. Look up here, over here. Hey, you guys!
It's every one of these rings or these sounds are from ventriloquists. They have created the technology that the sound goes off somewhere, but it sounds like it's in a different room just to mess with you.
It should be Patrick Mahomes just saying, "I'm here.
I'm here.
I'm here.
I'm here."
Can you do that like at different ringtones?
Maybe.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
What they need to do is and the technology is probably there. You just walk it through every room in your house or at work, and you're like, this is the bedroom. This is the bathroom. This is the guest room. If I lose it in there, say, I'm in the guest room.
How? That's so smart.
You can do that with your Roomba, right? Your Roomba knows everything. You can track the entire house. Might as well with your
A Roomba's worth it. I've never had a Roomba.
It was when your mother-in-law buys it, yes. And they're awesome.
Are they expensive?
I think so, yes. The good ones like the Sharks and the, what's the other brand that makes it?
Dyson?
Dyson makes them, yeah.
Was the one that your mother-in-law got you?
It's a Shark, yeah. We call it Bruce because it's the Shark.
Oh, I love it. Yes, that's so fun. Yay. Was that on Shark Tank? Did the original Roomba go on Shark Tank? Or the original Shark company? Did they go
all
on
these inventions, this technology that I have today, I once laughed at. Like, who would need satellite radio or a Ring doorbell or a little round disc that mows your carpet?
Oh wow, yeah, that's more expensive than I would want to pay. Although that one comes with an auto wash.
How much are you willing to pay for convenience?
Not $700.
Oh.
I can pick up a broom. I can plug in a vacuum.
Yeah, that's like 350 beers. I'm not.
Yes, that's a lot of beers, I think, for you. Do you think when Shark Tank started, Benjamin Franklin showed up with these bifocals? It's like, look, sharks, I'm selling this for 45 cents. My cost to make it is 13 cents. Our valuation is roughly $500, so we feel really good about these bifocals. Nope, sorry, I don't think people are going to need those. We've got 2 different glasses, and because of that, I'm out.
Somehow,
even though you're the president, Ben Franklin.
We're greatest president of our time, easily. But because of that, I am out. Did you see the Purdue athletic director?
Yeah, what an idiot. What are we doing? And like somebody looked it up. Like all-time national championships, it's 25-3 Indiana over Purdue.
Let's take
had they lost in the first round of the playoff last year, that still would have been a dumb, idiotic comment.
What did he say?
Let's hear from Tommy McClellan in his introductory press conference yesterday afternoon. Tommy McClellan, the new AD for Purdue. This was one of the lines he dropped as a dig at their rival.
Every recruit, every current student athlete will hear this message repeatedly. We are here to win championships. If you don't want to win championships, go to Indiana.
Whoops.
What?
Literally the reigning football national champions.
The team that turned the word championship on its head. That would be one of the greatest turnaround stories in the history, which is what you would want to be at Purdue. Indiana just did. And, I mean, there's a lot of schools you can throw shade at, even in Indiana, that you go to Terre Haute, right?
We've been telling,
Fort Wayne.
Every single offensive coordinator, head coach will hear this. If you want to be successful, you have Josh Allen. If you don't want to win Super Bowls, go get Patrick Mahomes.
Go to Kansas City.
Yeah, go get Patrick Mahomes. If you want to be here and win Super Bowls, get Justin Herbert.
That's
not,
on that same level.
Go get Patrick Mahomes.
How do you bounce back if you're the Purdue AD?
I don't think you do it.
Soren always asks if they won the press conference. Let's ask Soren, hey, did he win the press conference?
Would you say they won a championship of a press conference? Because Kurt Signetti, I remember his press conference when he said, "Google me."
Yeah.
He ended up winning.
He won
that and actual games.
Yeah.
And this guy.
But I mean, there is being confident, which is what he was at the beginning of the soundbite, which is fine. Everybody talks about that. We're here to win championships.
Want to win championships, come
Usually
here.
leave it open, like, okay, Big Ten championship, that counts, whatever, yada, yada. But then confidence is fine, but then you back it up with just recent historic ignorance.
What if he just said,
if you want to lose, then go to Northwestern.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't want to win championships, go to Ball State.
Yes.
Because we're here now.
There's a lot of other choices
Indiana, it's us.
Do you mean to put the state on the end of there?
Indiana State.
Sycamores,
baby.
Won in a while. Since 79, probably. They got the championship game. They seemed so close.
Still didn't win it.
Larry Bird,
Larry Bird, that was it.
That is one of the dumbest.
It's absurd.
Intros to a presser I have ever.
If you don't want to win championships, go to Indiana.
Go to Indiana.
So he had to think he was being cute in that, like, they're not going to be winning it in the very near future.
I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know.
They just
maybe
won.
he just didn't realize he was really busy in January
trying to find a job.
February.
Yes, he couldn't even say Missouri now. If you don't want to win championships, go to Missouri. He can't even say that now. You know
why is that?
Because 1960 national championship.
That's true.
I mean, really, like
baseball with Norm Stewart.
They got that too. 4 Elite Eights, baby.
I was gonna save this till Learn Funny is Best, but it might be in all 4 of ours.
If you don't want to go to Elite Eights, go to Missouri.
So I mean, just along those lines, you see what Akron football's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I did not.
Electric.
So,
well, they're lightning bolts, right? They're the zips.
Zips. Yeah, it is electric.
Okay.
So, and I thought it was their first game, which their first game played Wake Forest. They better not. It's their first home game, I think.
Okay.
They are doing a raffle for a season fan, but it's got to be a season ticket holder. The winner of the raffle can script not the first play of the game, the first drive of their first home game of the season. And the comments on this are undefeated. They're so good.
First and 10, I'm running a fake punt.
Oh my God! Somebody showed like a shot of like Madden of Travis Kelce. Trying a field goal from his own end zone, like me on the first play.
They play Robert Morris, their first game
which
at
you could
home.
probably afford that. I would have thought it was really cool for just the first play, but they're letting you do the first drive.
Here's the thing.
There are going to have to be rules and
everything is going to be an audible
There's
at the line of
going to be
scrimmage.
parameters, right?
Every play is going to be audible at the line of scrimmage into the actual script.
So the comments underneath are hilarious. One guy, he says a picture of a sandwich. He's sandwich guy. He says,
sandwich guy.
Go, not giving up the headset if we score.
Yo, what if you?
And it showed a picture of Matt Nagy just staring as the Bears head coach, and it said, "Akron fans watching me trot out the kicker for the 6th consecutive Wildcat flea flicker." And then Akron football replied to him, "See you on the field in 2027."
Oh man!
Honestly, this is a great idea.
And they got putting the fattest guy on the team at running back just to see what happens.
Annexation of Puerto Rico. You got to run that play, right?
Yeah.
Tush pushing it.
It says the Akron fullback after I call fullback dive for 23 straight plays, and it shows him all red, which is like he's severely injured.
Fullback dive, fullback dive, fullback dive.
And then it shows
Mike Allstott, baby.
It says me after I called halfback pass on 4th and 22 inside our own 25-yard line. And it's Michael Irvin when he's on all fours. The bowl game's like, what's happening?
That Miami Bowl game when Michael Irvin thought he was the show. Yes.
He's the one, me on 1st and 10. It's Travis Kelce trying to field goal from the inside.
So good. I don't know what like the first down play. I would be so excited to run a trick play, but I'd be also like, no, I got to take this seriously.
Play action.
Like, no, I got to.
My first play is the one where the Colts lined up with they put like 9 guys
McAfee,
on one side
when he got
and he just got smoked.
Well, what about the time when the Colts did that and they ran back-to-back fake punts?
Oh, they did?
They did it on 4th down, picked it up, left them out there on 1st down, and they
ran it again? No,
they didn't.
On first down?
On first, but it was to get a too many men on the field. They caught them because they tried switching everyone out, but they couldn't because
they just stayed out there and they snapped the ball.
They snapped the ball and got a illegal min, so they did back-to-back fake punts. Basically, it was great.
Smart. That's just smart. Man.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
The guy goes, "I'm in, but if we fumble or throw a pick on the first play, I'm disputing the credit card charge."
That's the thing is like if you get the first drive. What if the first play is a fumble, turnover, interception? Like, well, hold on.
Come on.
Hold on. Like the first drive, that doesn't count, you know, or it's a 80-yard touchdown. You feel good about whatever play you called, but then it's like, that's it? I got one play?
Keep me around.
I got one play. Like at least the guy that won that, whatever it was an auction to do the play-by-play for the San Francisco Giants last night. At least he got to do a full inning.
How do you think that Robert Morris feels? Like Akron's like...
They're FCS, right? I don't think they made the jump, have they? The FBS, I'm sure they're FCS.
I can't keep track anymore. Are they Power 5 yet? Are they Power 4? Robert Morris, are they in a Power 4 conference yet?
No, that's not true. Well, I don't know. Maybe the ACC's had them.
They're actually in the Big East football. They're in Big. Well, I guess.
Poor fans have to see a 12-play, 76-yard drive with 11 offensive linemen in T formation. So that's great.
I love this.
Yeah.
So good for Akron football on that.
And so this is a raffle. Only for season ticket holders.
And so, I don't know if they have to pay to get in it. It's smart. If so, they probably should. But you know they're going to make money. Charge $100, you're going to make $1 million.
Yes,
they are in FBS.
Robert Morris is.
No, well,
they went 3-9 last year.
Akron.
Robert Morris did.
Well, you can have that record in FCS.
Were you talking about Akron? Or
Akron's
Robert
FBS.
Well, yeah.
No, we know that. We were talking about Robert Morris.
Oh yeah, it's the MAC, baby.
Yeah, we know they're in the MAC.
Watch them on Tuesday and Wednesday.
It's the MACtion.
Yeah, it's the MACtion.
Yes, that's right.
Robert Morris, though, I think they're probably still FCS, which is why they're doing it.
Yeah, the Colonials.
Robert Morris. I'm looking. I'm going.
Just search. Is it Robert Morris?
They're FCS. The
what conference?
They are in the Northeast Conference.
Okay,
of course. Oh, with Morris Robert.
Duquesne.
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 Wagner.
Wagner.
The Wagner.
Mo
Seahawks.
Wagner. No, actually, Wagner played football. That's wild.
What about the New Haven Chargers? Do you know about them?
I don't know about them.
Yeah, well, learn ball, buddy.
My brother knows all of these. He is really.
Are they good at not winning in the playoffs or even getting there?
What about them? What about the Mercyhurst Lakers? These are all the same division.
Mercyhurst
and Stonehill Skyhawks. Great names.
Did Mercyhurst Lakers? Did they move from Minnesota as well?
Yeah, they actually did. Yeah,
I didn't know. I didn't know if there were Lakers where they're
at though.
Well, they came from Minnesota.
They're in,
so they moved
from Minnesota to LA.
It's like Eli Drinkwitz when he was at SEC Media Day said, like unlike some teams, we're not leaving Missouri. I'm like, where was Mizzou gonna go to? Where were they gonna relocate to?
Wait, What teams are leaving Missouri?
The Chiefs. He was talking about a football team.
Okay, sorry.
A football team.
College all the time.
Yeah, I'm like, is Missouri going to move to Illinois?
Oh,
dude. I don't think it works like that, Eli.
Hey, we're headed in that direction in college football, man.
There's a city in western, Iowa or South Dakota that's like, look, we'll build you a brand new stadium, Mizzou. If you want to come here,
you can still call yourself Mizzou.
It's fine. You're just going to be here in our place. Oh man.
Also, another good one: the Southern Utah Thunderbirds.
Oh yeah, yes.
Oh, the
I know about
Thunderbirds,
them.
yeah.
They're not. No way. They're in the Northeast.
No,
Conference.
they're in the Big Sky.
Okay,
they are now.
They're
It's conference
in the
realignment.
Southern part of Utah.
Well, FCS conference realignment. I mean, you got.
They used to be in the same league as UMKC.
You got basketball. You got Stanford in the Atlantic Coast. Right
I'm
next
sure
to
the
Pacific.
Northeast can afford that travel.
That's true.
Women's tennis going from Mercyhurst to Southern Utah.
Half of them not on scholarship.
I do love these ones too. I'm just going through all the schools. I know these, but I forget like how great the monikers are.
Yeah,
the Stetson Hatters is so good.
Well, so my brother used to work for Gear for Sports, and they made all the random colleges, and so I would get all these free or discounted shirts.
I love that.
Of just
a lot of Moorhead hats being bought.
A lot of Moorhead.
Way to take my Thunder's going to say, and I have my favorite college, Moorhead.
Yeah, no, it's
I don't know what their mascot is,
No,
but
nobody does.
A lot of the South Carolina Gamecocks with just the word there shortened for their mascot.
Take off
on the hat.
game.
Yeah, that's right. There were a lot of that in college. I saw like, oh man, where'd you get that hat? What's that for? Oh, hold on. There's a college named Moorhead. That's interesting. Did they know what they were doing at the time? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. Phil Simms,
named after a guy with a lot of money.
Phil Simms.
And then maybe at that
Joe
time,
Moorhead?
maybe it didn't register like it registers with us when we hear it.
I mean,
Maybe
Oral Roberts too.
That's his first name.
Oral Hershiser.
Yeah, that's tough.
It is.
But Oral's Hershiser's O-R-E-L, correct?
Oh, is it?
And the school's O-R-A-L.
I don't. I always forget because he used to be on like the Sunday night baseball broadcast all the time. Like it was every week you would get Oral, and then like it went on and God, I don't know. We started getting older. That was back when I was in college, and then I left college and it was way less Oral on Sundays. On Sunday night baseball, so
every
they've
5 days, honestly.
Yeah, but they've replaced them now.
Every 5 days,
so
you got
it's
Oral.
It's not him anymore.
Yeah,
so, it'd be 7 days really.
We haven't got him in a long time.
Yeah, that's right.
Moorhead State, by the way, it's because it's in Moorhead, Kentucky.
Really? You just figured that out?
It's in Moorhead, Kentucky. By the way,
did you just where do you think Murray State is? What city do you think Murray State's in?
I don't know. Nebraska, Omaha.
Murray.
I don't know where that is either.
The university
Where's
began,
Bowling Green State at?
it
Where's
began
Akron?
as Moorhead Normal School.
That's I think
So apparently, it was
normal.
instead of Moorhead State, it was Moorhead Normal.
Moorhead is a normal.
Good for them.
Ask. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll continue rolling. And on the other side of the break, I'm not sure what we'll do. Probably less of that. I'm assuming we got the cuts before
Maybe
the show
not.
is over as well. I do want to ask if there are any players that we are more or less confident after the first week of pads and things like that.
Moorhead or less head confident in.
More or less. That's right. Probably less for you. More zone next. I want to talk about some players that you're higher or lower on, but the TV commercial just came across the air on NFL Network, and it shouldn't bug me, but it does. It's the newest commercial out there for the NFL Plus that you can take it anywhere with your phone and everything. And so it's like, oh, how do we let people know that you can, look at you can watch your favorite team if you're out and about? So their idea for let's explain and show that, hey, this can be used anywhere if you want to watch your team, is a lady at the dog park walking her dog and watching the 49ers game, and then other people saying, oh, it's the 49ers, and then coming over to walk their dog with her, to then there's a whole group of people, like 10, staring at her phone because they are such diehard 49ers fans, they're walking their dog during the 49ers
game too.
It just bothers the hell out of me because
I don't have the gene, I guess. I don't want to watch a game on my phone. If it's a huge game and I have to, I'll have it on for a little bit, but I ain't watching all day. I like a big old screen. I'm sitting back or whatever. But yeah, that's a great point.
There
in that,
there were a couple times last year where
people don't have phones.
Yeah, little man had a basketball game in the middle of the Chiefs game, so I'd have the phone and be watching a little bit. And then when he wasn't in the game, well, then I could just watch the game. I mean, he's not even in there. What was the point? So, but yes, I want to be in front of the big screen. But if they're that diehard passionate to where they're staring and what's going on and their dogs are doing this,
walk the
you're
dog before.
Probably going to be watching it on TV anyway. Oh, it just bugged me. It just bothered me. I'm sorry. You know what grinds my gears? You know what really grinds my gears?
I've been catching up on quarterback. Have you guys watched this season yet?
I haven't watched
really
this season. I haven't seen.
Makes it.
Haven't watched quarterback.
Baker makes it. I expected that. But
yeah.
Flacco's funny in that, like, he's got this kind of family, everyday guy side to him, like Kirk Cousins. But he also will just dropping bombs out there and relates to all the teammates and everything. He's just a guy's guy too, and he's just funny. And his journey last year was crazy, right? From Cleveland to Cincy. And so whenever he would get to they showed like every weekend the families at games, their own kids are watching games, and and they're watching on their phones intently whenever he's playing, and then the next week he's like benched or whatever, and they're like, mom's like, you guys check on the Browns game?
What if he gets in the game? What if somebody gets injured? He's thrown in the game.
Yeah, they didn't really care.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's. I haven't started that, and I haven't seen the first episode of Hard Knocks yet.
Wait, well,
I know. Hard Knocks apparently said
what
it
team?
was the.
I'm always bad at Hard Knocks.
Seahawks.
Yeah.
So a lot of KC connections, by the way. The backup quarterback, two offensive linemen. Mac Brown. Do you remember Mac Brown? He was the
Texas coach, North Carolina.
Coach, right?
No, different one.
Sorry.
Mac Brown was the quarterback, son of Sam Brown at Shawnee Mission North.
Son of Sam?
Early 2000s. He's now like a receivers coach for the Seahawks. He's got some lines in there. They put him in there. And
we found last night it was the marriage of the century or the decade because Cooper Kupp went to Travis and Taylor's
went to it, and like Sam
wedding.
Donald was like,
so he and Sam.
Invitation? He's like, yeah, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a joke when I got the invitation.
Because randomly they were saying, I saw Tony Romo at the wedding.
Yes.
And
that would have been after we found out about the Dewey, right?
No, it'd have been before.
It'd have been before.
Because this was
like last week.
Oh yeah, it's
I mean that they turned
probably
that around
maybe right
quick.
around the same
when
time.
When was Romo? When did we find out about the Dewey?
That's a good question.
Had training camp started? I feel like it was before training camp.
I think it was maybe
recent.
before.
I thought it was like a week ago.
Okay.
Tony Romo, OW.
It was probably before because you would have thought, okay, you bring that name up, they're going to say something about.
So it was. So he got arrested on July 23rd.
So it happened before probably that conversation.
So
but
last
maybe we didn't know
week
about
he
it
was placed on leave by CBS. He's going to get Wally pipped at CBS with the and it's his own fault. He didn't get injured, this because they're going with J.J. Watt now with the Jim Nantz and J.J. Watt while Tony Romo is on suspension, and they are going to look into the suspension to see if they can void his $20 million a year for his contract. I don't know, Jim. Let's see what happens.
And what's
Tony, JJ?
Is Tom getting like 37 a year?
Getting a lot. Tom's getting a lot, although he's improving and ascending where Tony Romo
better as second
started
year than his first.
right out amazing and then has just gone backwards the whole time. So
go see Grandma and Granddad.
He may have Wally pipped himself right out of the CBS's job since we'll see. I mean, maybe JJ Watt sucks. Who knows? But they probably don't have to pay him $20 million.
Remember
they also don't have to pay him
JJ Watt had his spiked hair like he was like the early 2000s? You remember that his like first
time playing in the early 2000s?
No, he
was.
It was his first time doing like a halftime report, a halftime show.
Early 2000s or 2020s?
2020s.
I'm saying he looked like his hair looked like it was almost like a Backstreet Boys situation.
Like a puka shell necklace. And everything.
But I asked him that because when I go, what the hell was going through your mind when you did that haircut? Like, do you need a puka shell necklace? Because I didn't know it was going to pop off like that. Everyone hated it. I'm never doing that again.
Oh man.
Because everyone just ripped on him for doing. Everyone's like, I don't even know what JJ said because all I could look at it was his hair.
Do you just call him JJ? When you see him, like, hey, JJ, what's up?
They're so tight, he just calls him Jay. Just one J.
What's
up, Jay?
He dropped the Emmett yesterday. I was talking to Emmett, and when he brought Emmett Smith.
Which Emmett Smith?
Oh.
There's two. There's one
Which
on
one?
the Chiefs team.
Which one, Sterling?
The running back.
That doesn't help us.
Same question still applies.
Cowboys.
Sorry,
Cardinals.
Dad.
Cardinals.
Sorry, Florida Gators.
Duh. Well, it is about that. So, do any players that higher or lower on after a week's worth of practice?
That's a good question.
Peter Woods, to me, like I was hoping he would look good, but we didn't know. He's looked better than I thought he would look this early in camp. Like he's been disruptive and dominant. So, I'm getting even more excited about what 99 looks like out there for the Chiefs lining up next to Chris Jones.
Yeah, I'd say that. I think disappointed would be Jalen Royals. And Mansour Delane.
Yeah.
Because Delane we just haven't seen. And so I think for that, when you're a first-round draft pick, you trade up. A lot of talk about edge, wide receiver, you go corner. And this is the result that we've seen so far. I think it's fair to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Delane is the number one on my lower/disappointed so far through camp.
I'll go Josh Simmons. He has looked really good.
Yeah.
Against the best the Chiefs have to offer, which maybe isn't best when it comes great when it comes to edge rushing. But it looks like he has made a big step in year two in these one-on-ones.
And by the way, our Mason Thomas was damn near blushing when he was told today that, Josh Simmons said that so it feels like he has to jump off sides just to keep up with you because you're so fast. And he was like, he said that? Like, he was
about me?
He was like, well, he's cheating. He's like, no, and he couldn't even think of the words. He was just like, well, I just, that's so cool. Like, I guess confidence, it gives you confidence that he says that. Like, it is pretty awesome, though. Like, he didn't know Josh Simmons said that, and then you get to tell him.
Yeah.
In real time. He's like, hold on, he really said that he's got
a jerk to me in the locker room.
Yeah. Like, he keeps putting, icy hot in my underwear. Like, so it's because he loves me. Okay.
It's so funny. We always ask these guys to give opinions on their teammates, and they all just always sing Kumbaya.
That's right.
But it's not always the case at all. I mean, a lot of times guys hate each other in that locker room, especially if it's offense and defense, and you haven't played anybody yet, and that's the only opponent.
No choice but to say how good they are and what they look like.
When people ask Mick, what's it like working with Jason and Sterling on air? You're like, oh, it's great. Yes. Yeah, I love those guys.
Yes.
And then
hold on, what do you say off the air? Wait a minute.
I'm like, yeah, it's great. We're working with Jason.
What do you think about Jason? Oh, I know him. But what do you think about him?
I don't think about him.
No, I know him. I know who you're talking about.
If the first thing they say when you ask about someone is nice guy, that means nice.
Like when you're talking about a
great personality.
Yes. Hey, I got a girl for you. I'm going to set you guys up. It's going to be a blind date. Oh yeah, what's she look like? She's really nice.
Really fine.
Great
She's a
personality.
nice guy.
She's a nice guy. Very handsome. Absolutely, just like Brady Quinn's sister, handsome lady.
What?
Are we ready for the cuts?
Yeah.
Let's take a time out. We cut it up next. All right, let's cut it up before we are done on a Friday. This week's worth of shows. I'm not sure what took place this week. We're just going to have to find out with Michael playing the cuts.
I doubt I'm in it.
Nope.
I think J.J. Piccolo should be having a meeting with all of his medical people and should be saying, all right, so what happened here? What did we miss?
I'm not disagreeing with you that could be studied.
I'm just saying I don't have the knowledge of what that study would reveal.
But they should look into it.
I just think when a team goes 46 and 67, you probably should look into every reason why.
Everything should be looked into.
Safeties get a little bit, can I use the word horny? They get a little bit hornier. They come up.
I think you just did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Can you use
Really
that word?
can.
Yeah.
Apparently. We've recorded it.
I was like saying it and then asking, can I say that? It's better.
Family Feud, Chris Jones. You know what his question was? It was the fast money. There's a blank in my throat. What do you think? What do you think Chris Jones said?
Oh no, he did not.
Oh yeah,
no, he didn't.
And the answer was frog.
Frog, yeah.
I only know that because Kelsey said that like 2 weeks ago.
He was on Family Feud?
Yeah.
Chris Jones was.
Yeah.
What's
I didn't
Steve Harvey
see it.
do?
The text I read was Chris was on Family Feud, and his question was, "There's a in my throat." And then they asked us, "What do you think?" Chris said, and I said, "Well, I can only imagine."
Right.
And then they said, "Frog is the right answer," and I said, "Well, what'd Chris say?"
Well, frog was probably the number one answer.
Yeah, and then Chris said, "Dick."
Well, there it is.
You can say that on the radio.
We know, not really.
I mean,
we're kind of like if
you're talking about Dick Vermeil,
right?
Well, my
You could
middle
say-
name's Richard.
I've asked for a cut up here, and Lebo, who signs off on the stuff, refuses to give me one.
Really?
Yeah,
Lebo?
I've asked for a cot. Wow.
Why?
Now,
why
that,
you can't?
now we got a break.
You can say that.
See, now
You
you
can't.
Bad.
Been a bad day for him.
That's
He's had a
not that
rough
bad.
Lebo. This has been a bad day.
He's
for him.
acted out.
I got
You
Sherm
have
back in
4
studio.
kids. You
Yeah.
talk like that in front of your kids.
Do you?
Listen, that's
No,
not
you
your
don't.
business, buddy.
It was a few of them that he dropped
all
yesterday.
one
It was all
day.
one day. It's all one day that he dropped the Richard and the AH.
By the way, I can really only think of 2 answers for the frog and the other thing. I can't. What else could have?
A
lump,
tickle?
I guess maybe a lump.
Food?
Cough? Yeah.
A cough in
but
my
do you
throat?
say if there's a cough in my throat?
I don't know.
Nobody even
By
says
the way,
there's food in my throat.
No video. Search for an hour. Can't find it. I'm not sure it's true.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? It's Coach O. Soon to be football season. I know we can't wait. Check out these leads. Jambalaya, Hush Puppy, Po' Boy,
Po' Boy,
Gumbo, Old Lady Queen Kelsey. We'll beat you in fantasy football this year. Getting in good shape. I know you're out there running in the heat every day, running your 110s, big chest, big eyes, not bending over. Can you win the game in the third quarter? No. Can you win the game in the fourth quarter? Hell yeah. Good luck to everybody. Go Tigers.
Cameo for.
Awesome.
We might have to do that. We might
I
have to
think
go.
we
How
may.
much does it cost?
Depends on the guy.
Yep.
That is going to leave a lot more meat on the table for this offense. And or would it be the opposite? It's not going to leave a lot of meat on the table for the No, it would leave.
Yeah.
It would leave a lot
You
of
were
meat on
right.
the table.
You were right.
He's
Trust
questioning
yourself.
my meat analogy. He's questioning my meat. But where was I?
Talking meat.
He was looking for
Leave
meat
a
on
lot
the
of
bone.
meat on the throat.
Meat on the bone. The bone.
Ass. Unbelievable. You know, it's tough enough. Tough enough to go 11 years without winning a Super Bowl. But your little battles that we won, now they're ass.
What was he talking about?
Me, you, Steven, Iceman. Do you think we could block Aaron Donald?
The 4 of us?
Mm-hmm.
I think we could.
I think it'd be a battle.
I'm just going to tell you right now, get your hands off. Get your hands off. Get away.
What?
I'm going right for the kneecap.
Right.
I'm going to cut him so
I'm going
hard.
low.
No chop block.
No,
you
dude's not a
can't
fat slab.
I'm already low.
Get your hands off.
He's gonna.
Not if I'm down by his knee. I'm going to cut right through his knee and come up on the other side.
I bet Sherman's maybe said that. Hey, I'm blocking this guy. Get your hands off.
Absolutely.
I'm going low.
If
Do not touch this guy
Anthony
high.
Sherman is part of it. Yeah.
Yes.
4 people could block him.
Do not get a 15-yard penalty for chop block. Do not touch him. Hands off. I'm cutting him.
What's harder on the body to play, right field or first base?
Right field.
Okay. Is that a stupid question to be asking? Like, is it no doubter?
It's a no doubter.
Okay. I just want to make sure because there was a lively debate earlier today that was going round and round, and there was a couple of people who were in a check being in the media who said, no, first base, way tougher.
Who
At
was on the first base track there?
I mean,
Vinny Pasquantino.
Sterling who's on with Jason in the middays, and Mick Schaefer from 41.
All right. Well, Mick's an athlete.
I think I think that was more like they played the role of
devil's advocate.
No. Jason's fired up. Let's be a-holes.
Listen. Okay. Yeah. The phrase rage baiting was created on Sports Talk Radio.
Oh, for sure.
Without Passon's line, I wouldn't have played it. Like, I wasn't playing it for that, but it got funny
That was
there
great.
with rage baiting.
Well, I got Passon and Jason and Les Norman on that side. We have us and like some internet searches. And it was a little different. We were said what's safer, but I guess that's similar to what's tougher on the body.
Equal to
Chipper
me.
Jones, Alex Gordon,
God.
It's equal.
Gary Sheffield.
Equal.
I had considered running in
cut off shirt. Kelsey,
He ain't coming back.
he could come back and play fullback. That's what if I'm him. That's
Jason Kelsey.
I'm like Coach Reed. You need a guy to come back and play
See,
fullback.
he says these things, and then like there's whispers around everywhere.
I mean, you're already doing a million things. Why not just go play fullback?
Oh, all right, yeah.
I mean, anybody can play fullback.
There we go.
There we go.
I knew there was an end game to this.
There was something that he was heading for. You knew that. Anybody can play
I didn't
fullback.
make cuts. I did it.
You weren't on at all. Just your name.
Just my
Oh,
name.
your name made it.
That's it.
Good for me. I
you not make
said
it?
nothing dumb.
What was that again?
Another dude can take it.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
That's what made it hard.
There you go. That was just from earlier today.
You're in.
You stroke off the low guy.
Mike,
We're just gonna keep beating it.
Michael, I think you were looking for meat on the bone.
Yes, that's it.
It's going to leave a little more meat on the bone.
Yep. That's what makes
in
it
your
really
throat.
hard.
In your throat.
Yeah.
That's
Unclean dick?
Oh my God.
Wow.
Well,